say YouTube is the place to be for promotion. I'm gonna try and get some promotion going tonight by getting this on YouTube. Capture as much as I can. I'm gonna introduce a new character tonight. So we're gonna get it started in a couple minutes. This is, you think I just remember all this stuff? So, I'll log on. So momentarily, I'll be waiting for an email from EDUBBS. All right, guys, so while I'm waiting, this is MURF from the MURF and EDUBBS sports show. That's right, the sports show. We give you hours of entertainment, we talk a little current affairs, and we go right into all the sports talk. It might look a little weird with the glasses, but I'm 50 years old and I can't see shit anymore. So, as I always put out there, me and EDUBBS are big time sports fans. We're very passionate about our teams. We're very passionate about what goes on in the Major League Baseball, what goes on in NFL, what goes on all over sports. We try to bring it to you as entertaining as possible. We try to bring you some characters. We try to give you some knowledge. We try to give you some predictions. We try to make it fun. By fun, I mean we rib each other a little bit. We talk about apple picking. We talk about sneakers. We talk about backwards hats. We talk about Crocs, and we talk about other silly stuff like that. So if you can muddle through some of that stuff, maybe have some fun with us and come check us out. As always, it's Check It Out 1972. Check It Out 1972 on Instagram. If you guys ever want to pop us a direct message and let us know of any podcast ideas, I keep saying a podcast, any show ideas. Again, working on a live broadcast, just trying to get the equipment up. As you can tell, me and Eric are doing this show from A, my basement, and B, his house somewhere in the Weisfeld mansion over there in Fishkill or Hopewell somewhere. Well, anyway, as we wait here, you guys are doing a good job. I see the numbers going up on Amazon. I'm actually, you know what the good number is I'm seeing? I'm seeing numbers on Spotify that people that aren't in our circle of friends are checking it out for the first time. And you're watching within, a certain amount. They're giving you about 20 minutes to a half hour of listen. So that being said, Eric's gonna send over his invitation, and then we are going to get started. And like I said, check it out, 1972 at Instagram. I also have a Twitter account if you want to beef with me about something, and that Twitter account is Check It Out 1972 at, hold on, here it is, here's the call. Eric. My volume was all the way down. LOL, sorry. Little technical difficulties. I forgot I was recording. Turn the Met game down. I don't want to pick up the sound. See what's going on here with the Mets. The Mets winning 11-3, bottom of the ninth. Hopefully they can get out of here, which they will with a win. I got another one of these guys closing. I don't know what's going on here. Look at this. Bang. All right. I thought it was a home run. I guess not. Eric, you there?
I'm here, Rich. You hear me?
All right, dude. I could hear you. Is Joe in yet?
Hey. I don't know if he signed in yet or not.
It's
Oh, wait. It's giving me... He wrote something here.
Send me another link, please.
It's giving me crap about record with. Please send me...
Tell me if he has the app, he has to sign out.
He has to sign... Oh, he's got to create an account?
Probably. All right, let's hang up so we don't waste any time, and we'll try it one more time. So we know our end that works, so if his end works for some reason, whatever. Except the one he just sent.
I like talk radio myself, you know?
There you go.
Hey, guys, you're on.
Hey, there he is. Where are you, Rich? We finished the show already.
Awesome.
That's it, man, yeah.
Hey,
That
listen.
was a good job, Joe.
That was good. Oh yeah, Rich, we decided to split the pot. So you owe me a 6-pack and you owe me a few slices there. So.
All right, cool, man. Cool. Listen, this sounds good, man. We all sound good, right?
Sounds great. Yeah, sounds great. Yeah.
Joe, let me hear you talk.
What's it to you, man?
Perfect. Eric, let me hear you.
Hey, Rich, what's up?
You guys got it, man. All right, so listen.
Let's go.
All right, we're 35 seconds into it. Now listen, you see a number countdown?
Check it out. It's a count up, not count down.
Yeah, it's count up. Are you at 46 seconds like me?
142, 143,
Yeah,
144,
Joe and I signed in early, Rich. You came in a little bit later.
Alrighty.
Back to the future, Rich.
You got it. All right, listen. All right, so what we're gonna do here is, all right, give me at 30 seconds. I'm gonna come in with the intro, and that's when we're gonna start, and I'm gonna edit this part out. All right.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. All right. Here we go. Episode 6 of the MURF and EDUBBS Sports Show. I like the way that sounds. What do you think, E? The MURF and EDUBBS Show. What do you think, pal?
It sounds great there, Murph. How you doing, buddy? Can't believe we're doing 6 weeks, a month and a half of this, and it just gets better all the time.
It absolutely does. It really does, and it's fun. You know, it gives us an outlet to talk. And tonight we're bringing on a special guest. I know if you heard our promos and you hear the heavy breathing in the background, but that would be Cousin Joe. Now, Cousin Joe is my cousin, and he's very knowledgeable. And well, let me let Joe introduce himself to you. Cousin Joe, how you doing, my man?
Oh, hey, good evening. Welcome. And it's a pleasure to be here. And you pumped me up really good last time, so I hope I can live up to the hype. We had a little good free chat prior to this call, so I'm really looking forward to it. The only thing I do have to say, though, for the listeners out there, if you're not familiar, Rich and I, we are cousins. My grandmother and his grandmother are sisters.
Yep.
They were both Irish Catholics.
Yep.
So right now, up in heaven, they're both enjoying a nice bottle of Bailey's. So I'll leave it at that.
You could say that again, Joe. Cheers to that, my friend. Cheers to that, my cousin. All right, so
Nice meeting you, Cousin Joe. I feel like I'm related to you guys, too.
Oh, likewise.
I knew you guys would hit it right off the bat. As usually, like what we like to do is I like to spout off on a couple of stupid little stories I read. We're gonna go through. We're gonna go through baseball. We're gonna go through football. But my son just came down and showed me a video. You know, Mike Trout hit another home run today.
Oh my God, 6 games in a row, right?
Mike Trout's hit 6 home runs in the last 6 games. Now, Mike, I was watching a bunch of videos on his swing. His swing is back. It's so natural. I don't know, dude. Mike Trout, healthy. Another couple of years, may go down as the best baseball player in history. I just wanted to point that out to him. 6 consecutive home runs in 6 days, dude.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. We could have that conversation.
Oh, you want to have that conversation now?
We'll wait. Well, we could have. Listen, I'm sure we could go with. I'm not saying he is, but listen. When he's done, if he has another 4 more years, he may go down in history as one of the greats. Not saying the best, but definitely one of the greats.
Rich,
yes.
Just across the wire, Albert Pujols just hit number 696.
Oh,
fantastic.
fantastic.
5 stories coming in on this Saturday night. Look at that.
Fantastic.
Breaking news. Yeah.
Thank God. So he could maybe he could erase that I don't know, that brain dead idiot A-Rod and move him down the list.
Also, Rich, one more thing. Ohtani threw a pitch tonight, 101 miles an hour, his fastest pitch ever.
I don't know, boys. He's creeping up on that MVP. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway.
Mr. Aaron Judge.
I hear you. Also.
Richie, let me cut you off.
Sure.
Honestly, let's be frank. Ohtani, Mike Trout, great players. I actually went to an Angels game earlier this year.
I did too, Joe.
They are beloved. The fans love them, but Jesus Christmas, if the team can't win more than 60 games, what the heck? What are they doing there? Jesus, get some draft picks from, get some capital.
I don't know.
Waste of talent. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing out there, Joe. You bring up a really good point. I mean, you're surrounded. They're right there out there in California. Are 2 of the best baseball players in baseball, and they're losing baseball games. I don't get it. It's got, listen, pitching has to do with it. Noah Syndergaard was supposed to go over there and be the savior, and what's he doing now? Was he in Philly now? I mean,
He's in Philly.
Yeah.
He's not even there anymore.
Exactly. So it's like, he's supposed to be their savior. He was supposed to come in with his Thor's hammer and lay the smackdown and help out Ohtani and Trout, but I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing out there. It really is a joke, They really need to. Ohtani's going to get. I don't know if Ohtani comes to like the East Coast, the guy's going to get $500 million from somebody. That's going to be ridiculous money.
I did see that a guy's trying to buy them for $1 billion. A billionaire's trying to buy the Angels.
Wow.
So it might sway those guys to keep those guys out there and stuff like that. But time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell. Yeah, it's a little tidbit about Mike Trout. I just saw Darren Ruff drop the ball. Oh, listen, this is a silly little thing. Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson are in the news again, and not for football. Did you hear the story?
No.
Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson are going to box. They're going to fight each other in a boxing
I'd
match.
watch that. I'd watch that.
I'm going to be glued to this. But I'll tell you right now, I just saw a quick little video. That's the reason why I'm bringing it up. The both of these guys looked shredded out of their minds and could probably, it might be a good street fight. You never know. Listen, Adrian Peterson's known to be pretty good with the switch, right? So I don't know what's going on there.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Le'Veon Bell might be, I don't know, but that looks like, if you look at these two guys, they're still specimens, man. Like, it might be a pretty good fight to check out. Anyway.
They need a paycheck, Rich? Is that what they need?
Yeah, man. And listen, go ahead.
Inflation, right? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
And I got one more thing. Like I said, now that I have an outlet to say this shit, you know, like I said, and this is why we bring this to the table, because we like to talk. We like to talk shit, and that's what we're doing. I gotta say something right now, and I hope this gets out there. Boomer Esiason and Jerry Seinfeld, I'm gonna say it, shut the fuck up about the trumpets, bro. Shut up. You guys are old codgers. Listen, Seinfeld, you had a great show in the 90s. You're hysterical. Listen, you're funny. You're a good Mets fan. You're an old timer. Boomer, any three of us right now could probably take Boomer's place. And I'll kick Gio out of that, and, you know, take any one of you guys. But anyway, talking about the Jerry Seinfeld, the Boomer Esiason, why are you being old curmudgeons and talking? Listen, we're having fun in Citi Field, guys. I know you're the Yankee fans, and I don't care what anybody says. Watching that Timmy Trumpet guy from Australia, wherever the hell he's from, do that shit live, that was fun. It's not Enter Sandman fun, but that's fun.
That's fun, man.
Yeah, it's fun. And it's not the reason why the Mets are in second place right now, believe me.
Oh my God, Eric,
It
that
has more
hurt.
to do with trumpets, right? We'll talk about that later.
Eric, you know what? Listen, dude, I got blood on my face on that one. I didn't expect a shot that early, man. We were supposed to go into baseball later. All right, so I just, like I said, I wanted to drop a couple silly stories, and being that it's the day before, it's being September 10th as we're recording this, I'd be remiss to go into September 11th, which is tomorrow, and everybody in this country, around the world, everybody has a story about where they were or what they were doing at the time. And it's a day of reflection. I mean, obviously today we should reflect all the time, but every single person has a story. I mean, Joe, you're new to this, the show. I'd like to hear from you a little bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like you said, everyone's got a story. It's one of those days where just the world stood still. You can think back, how old you were, when it was, what you're doing. Time stood still. One of those rare moments in history where that does happen. Maybe the only times in really the last 100 years where that occurred was assassination of President Kennedy and
Yes.
Pearl Harbor. That's really the only days we think of.
Yes.
But we're in a situation now. I'm 38. I was a junior in high school when the towers went down. You guys are a few years older than I was. You're obviously in your careers when it happened. And everyone has, like you said, has a story to tell, what they were doing, what happened, and what transpired afterwards. And a few things that come to mind in my case. In high school, I went to Brewster High School, and we continued the rest of the day. Because the situation, they didn't want people to panic. There were a significant number of students that had family that worked down in the World Trade Center, and there were policemen, firemen, and cops, first responders, up and down the line. And unfortunately, a number of them did lose relatives in the towers. And it's one of those things. You look back. Not everyone had that experience. Us living in the New York tri-state area, significantly impacted. But you talk to our peers, especially in my case, as I went on to college and service later on, people had different experiences and it impacted different ways. In my case, I knew I was growing up. I always knew I wanted to join the military. You watching G.I. Joe and all these great History Channel documentaries. But after that, I knew I was going. And ultimately, I ended up going to college. Went to SUNY Maritime, completed ROTC there. Played football as well.
That's great.
Which is actually another thing to touch on too. Think about in the aftermath of 9/11, people forget they shut down air travel in this country. Air travel was shut down for a significant amount of time, and I'll never forget. I think it was about a month, maybe a month afterwards. We're outside practicing. We stopped practice because an airplane flew overhead, and they was like, "Wow!" It was like, "What the heck is this?" And little things like that. People, again. You say never forget, but there's second and third order effects and things that come to mind. You think, oh wow, of how scared or how shocked this country was. But no, I tell you this is I ended up joined the Navy. I was an officer and commissioned 2008 and 2011. I joined the Navy to serve my country. I was in the Navy, work on the water, right? 2011, they sent my ass to the desert in Kuwait. And
Wow.
I was there for a year, and coincidentally, I left September 10th, 2012. I left, which is 10 years ago to today. We're making this podcast, so
Wow.
funny how that happens, right? How time makes fools of us all, right?
Yeah.
In a positive way. And
Crazy.
for what it's worth, I remember sitting in the air terminal in Kuwait Air Base, watching week 1 of the NFL season. And that's one of the, I should say, it's one of the great things about being overseas. It's an 8-hour time difference, so all the 1 o'clock games are Sunday night games.
Nice.
That's great. Again, time stood still, and in my job right now, my day-to-day job, I work college admissions. I work down at the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, so we're one of the 5 federal service academies. I'll give them a plug.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're in a situation. I'm recruiting for the class of 2027.
Okay.
And for us as an admissions team, it dawned on us about 2, maybe 3 years ago that the majority, if not all the applicants that we received, were born after 9/11.
Wow.
So that's the world we're growing up in now, where
Wow.
students going through high school, even kids that are in their late teens, early 20s, learned about 9/11 as a historical event that occurred before they were born.
Right. Now, you bring up, exactly, you bring up a good point that, I always think about around this time too, I always think about some of the kids that were either being born that year or very, very, very young and never got a chance to know a parent or,
Right.
I mean, you just think about all, just the horror of that day. And like you said before, Joe, like everybody has their own interpretation of like what happened that day or like what they experienced that day. I mean, Eric, you were up in, were you up in Fishkill, Eric?
Actually, I was living up here, Rich, but I was actually in the city when it happened. I was
Okay.
working on 41st Street, right around the block from Grand Central, and sitting at my desk, and all of a sudden, a woman comes up and says that she heard a little plane hit the World Trade Center. So, of course, we're all going on the internet and stuff, trying to see what was happening. And you go back to 2001, Rich. The internet was it wasn't as it was today and stuff like that. There was no social media, no Twitter, no nothing. So, just when I went to one of these news sites and I saw they showed a picture of a plane going through the Twin Towers, and information was a little sketchy. We didn't know what was going on. And then the news came down that another plane hit the Twin Towers, and rumors going around. There's all planes going around the country going to crash all over the place and stuff like that. So, and we know it happened in Pennsylvania, all over. But yeah, it was just a crazy day. So I left my office and I'm walking to Grand Central. I'm saying, how am I going to get home? Are they going to stop the trains and stuff like that? So I'm walking to Grand Central, and it was a very warm morning. It was like in the 80s, I remember. And a lot of people thirsty, walking around the city with the unknown going on. And I saw a hot dog vendor, and he was selling, this is crazy. He was selling water. He's selling water for $20 a bottle. There was an elderly couple. So there was a guy, very strong guy, looked like a bodybuilder. He takes the guy's cart and he shoves it down, and the vendor just runs away. He's chasing the vendor through traffic. People taking the waters and stuff. And during crisis, price gouging, it's crazy and stuff like that. And this guy, making money off a tragedy like this, like nobody knew what was happening. We all had our flip phones. There was no smartphones back then. So, I'm trying to call I was a newlywed, trying to call my wife, trying to call my mother-in-law, my parents. Nothing, no calls were getting through or anything like that.
Now, did you, like me, Eric, back then, I'm just curious, like, did you have the Nextels back then?
No, I had
I did.
Yeah,
I had a Nextel.
I had the flip phone, Rich, the regular flip phone.
Wow.
And no calls were going through or nothing.
Yeah.
So, I felt the best thing to do would go to Grand Central, and actually, I got on a train.
Really?
Got on a train, and it was stoic.
Wow.
Pure silence. The train was packed. Pure silence. People with ash covering themselves. It was just a mess and stuff like that. One person had a bandage on their arm. It looked like they were bleeding or something like that. They must have been down there. The train ride home from Grand Central to Beacon. Guess how long it took me to get from Grand Central to Beacon?
Hours, I'm sure.
It took about 3 hours.
Yeah.
And we had to stop. There was some rumor there was a bomb on the Tappan Zee Bridge, so we had to stop by the Tappan Zee fridge for a little bit and stuff like that. And yeah, it was crazy. And then, we continued going home and stuff. And my wife picked me up at the Beacon train station, and, we were hungry and stuff. And we kind of felt guilty actually going to get something to eat. We said, here are people dying. It was just like one of those days and stuff. My father was supposed to be in the Twin Towers that day, but he got held up. He was supposed to make a delivery. He got held up. And I know a lot of people who were late to work going to the Twin Towers because they watched the Giants game the night before.
Wow.
The Giants were playing the Denver Broncos. Yeah, so there were people on the PATH train going to work who were late, so, I mean, just think of that, and then my brother actually lost a friend who worked at Windows on the World on the 103rd floor, so, he felt it, so, but other than that, it was just a crazy day, and just one day that we'll hope we'll ever face again.
Yeah, I know, you obviously said, you were in the city at the time, and, listen, I was in the city at the time, too, as well. I was on 57th Street in Broadway, and I'm newly in the Ironworkers Union, in Local 580. That's to this day I'm still an ironworker. And that day I remember I was on 57th and Broadway working at the Random House Project, and I remember I was up on probably one of the higher floors, and working in doing something. There's a radio on, and I just hear some guy just saying like. He said, "What are you?" I said, "Oh my God, it's with the sun. A plane hit the White House." And I'm like, "What the hell is this guy talking about? A plane hit the White House?" We're just mulling around doing our business. I go over to my partner. He says, he's like, "The plane hit the Pentagon. The plane hit this." And I'm like, "What's going on?" So we start turning on the radio, and then all of a sudden, the radio, we can still get our radio signal, and we're talking about, a plane hit the first tower, and we're like, "Holy shit, what the hell's going on?" So. As I'm hearing this, I peer, the building was open at the time, so I peer over the edge, and I'm just looking down Broadway, and I'm like, holy shit, there's smoke. And I'm seeing this, like, wow. The guy was working with an ironworker, an old-timer ironworker, a guy I knew, really long time, and I just remember him coming up to the floor and saying, "Murph, everybody else, let's get the hell out of here. Something happened downtown. We got to get the hell out of here. We got to get down to the hall." So what happened was, we didn't know what to do. Everybody's like, do we go home? Do we, what do we do? So, as, people see these buildings burning, as being an iron worker, we go down and say, what the hell, what can we do? So, we go down to our union hall, and obviously at that point, everybody's all converged down there and wondering what the hell they can do. So, we decided to let's figure something out, because it was just too much, because our delegates and our leadership down there at our hall said, let's reconfigure, and let's see, meet us down here in the morning, and maybe we'll get some buses or something to go down. So I left. I started walking. Obviously there's no, so I did what every American red-blooded Irish background would do, and I stopped off at I stopped at TJ Keen's on 48th Street and 8th Avenue, and I ran into some lovely people who have some lovely beverages. Now, to your point, which I thought was weird, is you said that everybody's price gouging over with water and stuff like that. On that day, Eric, they were handing out beers, they were pouring shots, they were handing out food. There was not a dime that passed hand through this man's bar because of all these people that were just and and everybody. It wasn't a rowdy crowd. It was a holy shit crowd. And it was a, can I do something for you crowd? Did you know anybody that was down there crowd? So my experience in stopping off at a bar atmosphere was, holy shit, guys, what the fuck just happened? And how the hell are we going to get out of here?
Yep. Crazy.
And I mean...
Rich, were you living up here in Dutchess?
No, I wasn't. I was not. I was just going to get to that point. I feel like I'm, droning on a little bit, but I do have a kind of a long explanation to it. But I had listen, I'm just a year into the Ironworkers Union. I'm new to the trade, and I'm just learning my trade myself. I was living back upstate with my parents for a couple of years, and I just figured it was time, let me get the hell out of here. I grew up in Queens, and now let me get back to Queens. So I had moved to Woodside on Skillman Avenue, and I had a couple of roommates there, and I just, I was an iron worker and working in the city, and now my experience going into the next day kind of was, I didn't sleep that night. And where I was situated at my apartment right off Skillman, I was on 52nd Street and Skillman Avenue. So where it was situated, my fire escape was directly towards downtown Manhattan. And there was a, right where it was, I could see right between two buildings, I could see the smoke every night. And what I did was I looked at the smoke and I sat there and I was like, what, I just didn't sleep. So I went down to the Union Hall. So it was bunch of guys down at the Union Hall. And I had happened to meet my uncle down there. Now, my uncle, he listens to this. He let me know that he's been listening. So Uncle Michael, shout out to you. But I met my uncle down there at the Union Hall, and we got on buses and we got on flatbeds and whatever anybody would come to help, and we all went down there. And the closer we got, the smell and the smoke and 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 it's funny because like we kind of really didn't like I don't know, it just sounds kind of odd, like like what the hell can we do? We're on our way down there to do something, and we're like we don't know what it is, but everybody was like, no one's like, I don't know guys, everybody's like, no, let's fucking go, hurry up. So, and even like a couple of people, like they were carting people at the Winter Garden, well, what was left of the Winter Garden Theater. They were showing our union cards. So now all I remember is walking through the Winter Garden. It's all rubble and it's smoke, and my uncle just kind of like keeping close, watching me, because I listen. I'm new in the union, and I'm sure he didn't want me down there. So I'm sure he was very nervous about having me down there with him, but he didn't take his eye off me. So I remember going through the Winter Garden Theater and just having my union card out and just passing through, and walking into that rubble. And guys, when I tell you, it was surreal what I saw.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. I mean, I walked in there and there was just, and then the next probably 10 to 12 hours was kind of just a blur. And I just remember my uncle grabbing me and I really, time is that I really don't remember the time frame, but I just remember sweating, and I remember sitting down, and I remember him telling me, he's like, you really shouldn't be here. And I remember he's like, listen, I love you. And he's like, just talking about all kinds of stuff like that. Like we didn't know what was going on. And you hear the rumbling, and every time there'd be a rumble, there'd be just, there'd be complete silence.
Wow.
Literally thousands of people, dead silence. And when they found it was a body or a body part or something, they would get the body bags in. And if it was nothing, right back to work. And we were pushing buttons. And I put pushing buckets. And I just remember, like, I could go on and on about what happened, we did, the bucket crew. But towards the end of the days, my Uncle Michael kind of looked at me and said, listen, Rich, you have to get out of here. He's like, I'm going to stay down here. He's like, just go back to your job, do what you got to do. Now, I remember just leaving that place and just feeling like, tired, and I was crying, and it was just upsetting. I remember going back to my apartment, and every single night when I eventually, the next 2 days, I went back to my job. The city wasn't the same, as you guys know, for a really, really long time.
Right.
And every night I would just, and I knew my uncle was down there working down the rubble, and he was down there every day doing 12-hour shifts, and just with the torch and burning steel, with the cops and the firemen and the construction workers and all the great people down there. And I just remember coming home, just like I could see the light, whether rain, whatever kind of weather it was, like people were down there, and the lights and the smoke. I just remember the smell, and it's just something that I'll just never forget that moment.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Hey, Rich, you mind if I chime in real quick?
Of course.
Absolutely, thank you so much. So obviously I was a junior when this occurred, but I have a lot of my veteran buddies who are Vietnam veterans and Gulf War veterans who were involved in the recovery as well. And the one constant, all the stories they had told they've told me, and very comparable to what you said, is they went down to that site, and unlike anything they had experienced in wartime, and what they told me is, when you're involved in combat, you bomb, whether it's tanks or personnel or villages, napalm, whatever you're fighting for, there's always remnants left. So you find whether it's equipment or pieces of a house or like I said, body parts, or there's remains. There's some kind of evidence there that there was an action, there was a battle there. One of those guys told me they went down to ground zero to the recovery. You rarely did you find anything intact. I mean, you wouldn't even office equipment. You think, okay, you have a massive building with offices. They didn't find a single keyboard or monitor. I think it was just grounded up. It was just dust, gone. And like you were saying before, if you found a body intact, that was almost a rarity. They bring out guys in these bits and pieces, and very surreal, very surreal. And when I was at school, they brought in a guest speaker. He was a surgeon for the police department, and he was down there. And unfortunately, he was there when the second tower fell. And God willing, he survived. He was able to get. They were able to pull him out. But afterwards, they took his clothes off. They took his jacket off, got him to the hospital. But they ended up doing a DNA sample on this guy's jacket. They found 5 different DNA samples on this guy's jacket.
Oh my goodness!
From various policemen and firemen. They was trying to help, and that was the only remnants they had of those guys.
Wow.
Imagine that. Just literally the bloodstains on this guy's jacket. That was the only thing they found of him. So
unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the level of just carnage and just it's just surreal. I can't say enough. It's
Yeah.
as Forrest Gump said. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, and that's the two major things. Like, you think of two major senses. Like, I'll never forget the smell, and again, I know I gotta say it again, but I can't stress enough the silence that I heard when that whistle would blow or somebody would whistle. You could thousands of people it would just dead silence, and you could hear a pin drop. It was just that was crazy to me.
Nuts.
So,
Unreal.
yeah. Yeah, and kind of like, keeping with our sports theme, it's kind of like, listen, after we all know that after a year, 2 years, 3 years, we could go on maybe a couple of years. I mean, it was all about never forget and all stuff like that. Everybody has their stories, and everybody knows somebody that lost, and and it was never equating it to sports. For me, living in New York at the time is like, sometimes you just, as we become selfish New Yorkers, sometimes you think, we're fucking New York, it just doesn't happen to anybody else. But, obviously, it's on a huge scale, and you're like, of course, this affects everybody. But sports-wise, I just found it evident when I was watching the Green Bay Packers game when the NFL opened up the week after. And during the Green Bay Packers game, just everybody had signs, and then there was just people with like banners and just say, we love you, New York. We're here with you, New York. This affects all. It's just like all these signs. Like, you know what? Holy shit! This is like a global scale. And like this is so. It takes a tragedy for over 3,000 people to be massacred for everybody to love each other, and that's kind of like a little silly to say, but we've lost a little bit of that, I think, over the last couple of years.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but the sports definitely brought the country back, Rich. I mean, baseball's always been the diversion and stuff, and my great memory was President George Bush walking on the field at Yankee Stadium in the World Series, bulletproof vest on, with Secret Service all over the stadium, and he goes out to the mound, steps on the rubber, and throws a strike.
Through a pea.
To Jorge Posada. And you know what? That was like, it didn't matter what political affiliation you were, Rich.
Yeah.
That was heroic what President Bush did that night. And you know what? It kind of felt me like a little security going back to the city and stuff, going back to work and stuff. Because you know what? Here's our leader doing that for us, and it kind of felt like, okay, you know what? We can do this. We can team together as a country. And like I said, 21 years later, we're not where we were on that day, Rich.
Yeah.
And I bet you guys could agree about that. You too, Joe. Agree about that.
Oh yeah. And actually, I can say three things about Bush throwing that pitch out. These are things you find out in hindsight, right? Mm-hmm. So after the fact, it came out that one of the umpires on the field was actually a Secret Service agent. So if you go back and look at those photos,
yeah, I did hear that.
Yep. So there's that, and then the story that came out, I think it was on the captain in that series there. Jeter told Bush face to face, like, you better throw that pitch from the mound. Initially, they wanted him going out halfway, throw the pitch, get him off the field.
I saw that.
He says, like, no, you got to get out to the throw from the mound, get it out there, and otherwise people are going to take it seriously. And from a baseball standpoint, people forget. Prior to becoming president, President Bush was the governor of Texas, and he was a minority owner of the Texas Rangers.
Yep.
So how do you think he feels going out there wearing a Yankees jacket throwing a pitch?
He did it for America, Joe. He did it for America.
Absolutely. Things you think about after the fact. It took a tragedy like that for those events to occur. And again, one of those things you think about after the fact is, wow, it's
Yeah.
Something else.
And Rich, how did you feel about Piazza's home run too? That was huge, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, it was. You can't really say, and symbolic, of course. It was just it just hit on levels like because people because again, like you just said, baseball, sports, and whatever your sport may be. I was talking to a family today. Their son is on Jack's football team. He's a soccer player, but he's a kicker on the football team. But it's like whatever it may be. It's like you could sit down and watch a game, and listen, that's a big tragedy, man. That's a big tragedy. But you know what, though? Nothing's going to take your mind away from it. But when you see stuff like that and your team does something, and it's like, I got a little glimmer of hope. And it's like, yeah, it was pretty freaking cool when Piazza hit that home run, dude. I can't lie. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, and of course, the Yankees and Diamondbacks in the World Series, and the Yankees come out losers. But still, you know what though, it was great. We had Jeter hit the home run, Mr. November, right, and stuff like that. So you know, all was good in baseball land that year and stuff like that. So
Well, Eric is nothing to it. As one Yankee fan to another, this is again. It bores me to say this, but again, how events transpire kind of change your mind on things. One, at least they lost that game on the road. Okay, that game 7. But could you imagine had the Yankees won that series, having to do a parade in Lower Manhattan after the fact? That was oh my God!
Oh wow! Yeah, so we imagine.
So for what it's worth, it's like you know.
Yeah.
You always want to win, but at the same time, you're trying to have a celebrate a World Series championship while we're still digging out.
Yeah.
I think Rich, how long were you down? How long were you down there? How long were you a part of the recovery effort?
I was literally only down there for maybe like a day and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't down there. You know, I mean, I was down there right after. I was only down there for like a day and a half. It was my uncle. It was my uncle that stayed a long time.
Understood. I mean, the guys were there for like 3, 4, 5 months. My understanding, if not longer,
6 months, 7 months.
Yeah,
guys are doing 12. Guys are doing 12, 14 all night shifts, man. It's like you even talk. I have cousins that were firemen at the time. I have cousins that were cops, and friends that were cops and firemen, and these guys were putting in long hours, man. And it was just an unbelievable tragedy. And it's like listen, we were attacked on our soil, and it's like whether you like it or not, whether you hear your conspiracy theories or we can talk about it at length, but whatever you guys want to talk
about that, Rich.
But
conspiracy theories said 9/11 never happened.
But like I said, listen, we could, and like I said, that's something that we could go talk about at length. There's a lot of crazy people in this world, but that is something that is very, tomorrow it's definitely going to be on everybody's mind. I mean, we won't be at work tomorrow, and I know that whenever there's as union construction workers, last couple of years we do always at the 2 times we do have a moment of silence. And we take our hard hats off, and then we go back to work. And I will be doing the same tomorrow morning, and I'll recognize that as well. And everybody, just like listen, it sucks, that we needed tragedy to have everybody come together. But it's kind of like let's take a look at like what happened, and think about why tragedy brings everybody together. And how about we think about let's start talking a little bit more as a country, and not let a tragedy happen so people can come together. Let's start liking each other again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt, Rich. I totally agree. Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. 110%.
All right. So let's listen. We talked about the home run. We talked about it seems to kind of parlay into something about baseball now. So now I'm a little bit ganged up on right here. So now not that I'm feeling ganged up on, because I got to be honest with you, my whole life. And my son's experiencing it now. I've been surrounded by everybody but Mets fans, and I'm used to fighting off. So if you guys want to rumble, I'm ready. But I don't think this is going to be that kind of show right now, because you guys do level-headed Yankee fans, and then you're going to tell me what is going on with the Yankees and how they were up by 15 games, and now all of a sudden Hicks is dropping balls. What is going on in the Bronx, guys?
Well, let me talk about the Aaron Hicks thing for a second.
Please do, because I think, Eric, I'm sorry, before I chime in with that, I'm going to go back to my thing I told you a couple weeks about Aaron Hicks being just flat out crazy. The guy's got, listen, you're not supposed to have body language issues when you're in the major leagues. There's kids watching.
Right, and
Go ahead, sorry.
When the Yankees traded for Hicks, they thought he was going to be the next coming of the Twins, Byron Buxton, but obviously it's been a big failure. Did you see the game last night, Cousin Joe? Did you see the game?
I certainly did. I saw that. Oh my God, that is a high school play at best. How the hell do you? It's like you said, it comes together. The body language does not give a shit. I'll tell you right now, if I'm ownership, they better Ellsbury that guy, okay? Ellsbury got hurt, disappear his ass. You never hear from him again.
Never late foot in Yankee Stadium again. Jacoby Ellsbury.
That's it. But
exactly.
Here's the thing that's almost a symbology, right? It's symbology of what's going on with this team right now. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going on. I know they got a lot of. It's not their best team on the field. I understand that guys are hurt. That's the nature of the beast. But I don't know if it's a mental focus thing, if guys are just resting on their laurels, or if it's just the baseball guys doing their thing. Who the heck knows? But it's tough. I mean, thank God. All I'd say is thank God for the 7-team playoff format. Because if we were back in the original 14 playoff, I would be sweating it right now. I really would.
Now, how do you think? How do you think? Look, listen. I know I've gotten Eric's take on this, but Joe, what's your take on Judge? Like, what's going through his mind right now? Like, the guy's going to be what's going? I think he's gone. I keep telling Eric this. I think he's going to be in San Francisco.
If you're Judge, show me the money. Show me the money. Is he
Yeah.
going to be gone? We'll see. We'll see. Here's the thing: the amount of money that he's asking for. There's only a finite amount of teams that can really afford that bank, right?
Right.
Unless he's got some kind of back-ended deal with a deferred, almost like Bobby Bonilla, right? Right, Rich? Put him on the Bobby Bonilla contract, pay for the next 30 years or whatnot. But
I don't know.
I don't know. Here's the thing: God, you know what? I will eat crow on this one. Coming into the season when Judge made the demands he did, I thought this guy's nuts. I think he's crazy asking for all the money. This guy is an injury liability. He's got issues completing the season. He gets into slumps, but he is having a Hall of Fame season.
Oh my God!
And he's at the point now. He can get the end of the season like Steinbrenner better fucking give him a blank sheet of paper, blank check. What do you feel you deserve? I think that's what it's going to take. Unfortunately, is it going to happen? I don't know. I know he's a West Coast guy.
Yeah.
He's definitely got. Again, these guys are human. We tend to forget that these guys, they are human. They do want to branch out, so to speak. And if he wants to go to the West Coast, so be it. I can't begrudge him. All I know is the Yankees better make a good faith effort to retain him, and we'll go from there.
No,
again, you can't resign them all, but they're giving him the keys to the kingdom. I mean, they will make him a captain. They will give him provided that he continues to perform, they'll give him the cheater treatment when he retires. And again, it goes up to him what he wants to do.
Like there lies my point. I was going to make a quick point about it and compare, not compare them, but statistically or anything, but compare them to their situations, Jeter and Aaron Judge. Now, it's going to sound a little weird to say, but correct me if I'm wrong. Derek Jeter's career, you never really heard about. He met his wife later on. It was Derek Jeter for him. You forget too that Aaron Judge is newly married. And listen, as much as you want to deny this, that little blonde or whatever she's like, listen, Aaron. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I know you love the Yankees. Listen, I know you're a loyal guy. It's like, listen, bud. It's like, we need that $600 million contract, whatever these guys can offer. If not, I don't care. I will move to the beach in Malibu. We could buy a big house with that big contract. San Francisco or one of those teams is going to give you. How about the Dodgers? Let's go. I could live in Santa Monica, Malibu, right on the beach. That's the problem, I think, that's different between Jeter. Jeter stayed the Yankees his whole life because he didn't have some kind of ladies whispering in his ear he could get more money. Judge does. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Eric, how do you feel about that, Eric?
I don't think the Yankees, I don't think they can afford to lose Judge. I mean,
No.
If they lose Judge, it's going back to 1990 all over again. I mean, Judge is a star. He gambled on himself. He basically won the lottery this year. He won the Mega Millions. He gambled on himself, and he's a winner, no doubt about it, I mean, this guy carried the team the whole year.
Carrying,
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Has he had a slump? No. And you know what? He's going to break this American League record. He might win the Triple Crown, too. He's getting up there for Triple Crown. We haven't spoken about it, Rich. And all of a sudden, the guys ahead of him are slumping, and he's still hitting.
Now, listen, you just touched on a point, Eric, you just touched on a point, too, that I'm very curious to what you guys think about. What do you think about Aaron Judge's comments about the home run record? And how listen, I passed Maris, but I'm really going after Bonds. What do you think about his comments?
We spoke about that. I mean, I'm a Barry Bonds fan.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't break any rules. He tried to improve himself. But we'd like to say, hand-eye coordination, that's what it's all about, Rich. Steroids don't do anything to your eyes, right?
Yeah, and Maris's family's pissed. Maris's family's pissed about it.
I'm sorry, Rich. What's your name?
Maris's family's pissed about it.
Really? Well, that's the record, though. I mean, the American League record, I can understand, but the record is what, Bond 72. He probably won't get there, Rich.
Listen, Joe, I know you listen to our show, and we are very pro Barry Bonds on this show, the both of us. Very pro Barry Bonds.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love Barry Bonds.
Hey,
Yeah,
let me tell you something about Barry. I'll give my quick take on Bonds. Obviously, whatever he was taking, fine, so be it. Even if he didn't take that, he still would have been one of the best, easily top 10 players in the history of the game.
Absolutely.
This guy had tremendous skill, tremendous pedigree. Don't forget, his father was a tremendous player as well.
exactly.
Don't forget that. And Barry Bonds. My thing with Bonds, if he wasn't such a dick, if he wasn't such a douche,
Right.
Yeah, maybe he'd be kind of in the same category as Albert Bell. Now, Albert Bell, I think, gets
Jeez. Yeah.
Joe, now you're talking, dude.
You ever listen to his interviews, man? He tells you what we're all thinking.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give you a quick 30-second rundown with the steroid stuff. I've years apart. Basically 1993-94 was really the first baseball season I can recall, right? Obviously 94, the strike hit, it's pretty devastating. You're a 10-year-old kid, you know what the hell's what's happening, right?
Sure.
But people forget, the steroid guys, they save baseball. It's
100%.
Opinion.
Yes.
People don't want to talk about it. It's twofold. They save baseball, but also the big guys, McGuire, Sosa, Canseco, Palmeiro, Roger Clemens, all these guys, all these players, they were products of the 80s.
Yep.
Okay? And people forget, the 1980s was like the Wild West of steroids, drugs,
cocaine,
cocaine. The 86 Mets, okay, yeah, Rich, 86
Everything.
Mets, we all know their game, right?
Yep.
But all these guys grew up in a culture where it was embraced, it was accepted, and to begrudge them a few years later, because like you had no problems when they were doing the 80s. You
No.
had no problem when they did it in the post 1994 to save the game. It wasn't an issue for you then, but all of a sudden, it becomes high and mighty for you.
Yes.
So I have a real issue with the steroid guys getting the treatment that they've got. Now, do you put an asterisk next to their stats? Yeah, that's something you do. You say, just understand, this was an era where drugs were prevalent. There was really no rules. There was really no, the testing wasn't.
Yeah, but Joe, how do you know? Like, you can put an asterisk next to these guys now, and the only reason why you have an asterisk is because there's social media and because there's, today we have more news outlets. Who's to know like what was going on back in the day? Like, I mean, who's to know what these guys were doing? Like, listen, we have like black and white pictures of Joe DiMaggio running around with Marilyn Monroe, or we don't have the social media or the outlets today to find out what these guys are doing. Listen, I'm not saying I want to because it's their personal lives, but you know what I'm saying though? It's like, how do you know there wasn't something prevalent going on in the 40s or 50s?
Yeah, imagine if Twitter was around in the 40s and 50s, Rich.
My God. Yeah,
Jeez.
And I know, like I said, I mean, asterisk, I kind of get mad when you hear asterisk. Not that I get mad. I have kind of an issue with the asterisk because these guys are still baseball players, man. It's like...
fair enough, but it's one of those kind of deals that, I'll flip the script on you.
Okay.
Go back to the dead ball. You go back to the dead ball era. You got the pitchers like Cy Young, Walter Johnson,
Yep.
some of these great guys that pitched their asses off.
Yeah, we spoke about that last week.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yes, I paid attention. See,
I love it, Joe. I love it.
But at the same time, it's like you can't have it both ways. You can't tell me that the dead ball era guys are like the greatest pitchers ever. We're never going to see them again. Blah blah blah. It was a different game back then. The defenses were back further. There was the scouting that we have today wasn't even a thought back then.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
And then also too, a lot of these guys they didn't they had off-season jobs. All right. So it was a situation. They were glorified. I don't say they were glorified amateurs. That's really what they were.
No, spring training. You better get your ass to work. You better take your vacation pay from bagging groceries and get your ass to spring training.
I was just going to say that, Rich. Yeah.
And isn't that crazy? And now, like I'm doing a little research today, looking at questions and stuff like that, and I'm looking at to ask you guys, about for this trivia thing we're doing. I'm like, now you got A-Rod demanding plane rides, back then, and it's like, what the fuck is going on, dude? It's like these guys were bagging groceries and going to play baseball not too long ago, and A-Rod's demanding a fucking plane ride. I mean, it's like, that's what's wrong, and I don't know. It's the steroids. I mean, if anything, it's the money. I mean, and again, let me make a disclaimer here. The fact that listen, I am one of these guys that's for these players getting as much money as possible because the owners have all the money, and as long as we're going to the games and we're paying for the tickets and we're paying for everything, we're paying the concessions. Why not have the baseball players get a part of the pie too? But also on the same end, I think it's gotten to a point where the players are having too much say. Like some of these guys are even having the balls saying that they want to become part owners of teams, and some of these owners are actually engaging in the conversation. It's like, then you really fucked.
Rich. Let's be honest here, okay? Who has a better union, you or them?
Oh, them. The Baseball Players Association, the best union in the country.
Best union in the country.
In the country.
Yeah, exactly.
If everybody had that, oh my God! If everybody had their leadership, it would be a great country. It would be union all over the place, bro. We wouldn't be fighting nothing.
Every day too. They get meal money.
We're getting our asses kicked. Just give us a representative from the the Players Association of Baseball. The whole New York City will be union run in 5 minutes. I don't know how they do it, but they get shit done, bro.
Crazy, right? Unreal. I just want to pick something up from Yankee Land too. We talked about Aaron Hicks.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Reggie Jackson getting pulled off the field in Fenway Park in 1978.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Billy Marks and Paul Blair out there, and Reggie Jackson's going to the dugout, and thank God Elston Howard was around because Reggie would have decked Billy or Billy would have decked Reggie. edgy. It's crazy, you know. And then, remember David Cohn when he was arguing at first base in Atlanta and 2 runs scored? Remember that? And then we had Chuck Knobloch in the playoffs in '98. The guy in Cleveland bunted, and Knobloch was blowing bubbles at first base, and the guy's coming around to score. It's like, so, you know, it's not the first time this happened. The Aaron Hicks thing, it's not the last time, but Aaron Hicks, what he did last night, the Yankee team as is, you can't give a team 4 or 5 outs an inning. You know, they're not scoring any runs. But Aaron Hicks gave up 3 runs on 2 plays in that inning. It's crazy. And you know what? He doesn't deserve to play today.
No.
And Aaron Boone was right. I'm not going to play your ass today, you know, and stuff. So.
Do you think Aaron Boone towards the end of the season here is maybe trying to tell the higher ups to go fuck off because of the fact that maybe they've been running the team the whole time?
Well, it's kind of odd because Derek Jeter last night said you're gonna see me a little bit more. So I don't know what that means, if that's a signal or anything like that, you know. And then also, I don't know if you saw the ceremony last night, guys.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Yes, Hal Steinbrenner is working out with a check. $222.22 to Jeter, and the fans are booing him. It's like, come on, Yankee fans. I mean, Rich, I'm the Yankee diehard, but you know what? There's such classless Yankee fans out there. It's like the guy's bringing a check out for a charity. You're booing the guy.
Yo, listen.
And then Jeter has to say, "You guys better cheer. Trust me." You know.
Yeah.
And then they're booing Cashman too. And then Jeter says, "I guess you guys are ready for a playoff run." It's like it's a disaster. You know. It's like. And what happens if Aaron Judge gets signed? I guess the boos will turn to cheers for Steinbrenner, correct?
Yeah, but listen, listen, dude. Let's be honest. Listen, even I second guessed that a little bit, to be honest with you, as an outsider looking in. Yo, $220,000, bro. That's like, he probably pulled that out of his wallet, dude. Come on, give Jeter a couple more. Listen, this is a good charity the kid's got going, man. Throw the kid another couple $100,000. You're the freaking Yankees, man. Come on.
But Rich, you think it deserves booze?
No, it doesn't deserve booze. I'm not saying booze, but it deserves a kind of like, you know what? If it wasn't booze, it should have been a collective instead of a collective boo.
It's a tax write-off for him.
Come on, peel him off $500,000. Come on, what the hell are you doing, guys?
Hey guys, you know what my takeaway from the entire ceremony was? It made me feel really good as a father. And if you know where I have a daughter and a son. The fact he's trying to give his speech and his daughter's asking for ice cream. Okay?
Unbelievable.
It's like, that makes me feel great, okay? Because if Derek Jeter has that same problem, all right, I'm doing okay. All right? I'm not the only one. I'm trying to get work, trying to get a speech here, trying to get some work done. Your daughter's like, at your side, tugging on you. I want ice cream. So
that's funny.
Listen, he's just one of those guys, man. Like I said, I know you just said you watched The Captain. I know Eric's got to catch up on it, but Joe, listen, you know that's your era. That's your guy. You know what I mean? Like that's like your era. You know, being the age that you are, and it's kind of like he transcends baseball. Like he transcends like so many other things, Derek Jeter. And again, I keep saying that we want to go through The Captain in length because there's so many bits and pieces I like to pull out that just makes his talent. Listen, he's talent. He's got the talent, man. But you know what, though? He just brings just those intangibles kind of things that kids just today, if they want to be great, listen, you could have all the talent in the world, man. You could get in there and hit, but you gotta have a killer fucking instinct. And that kid has the killer instinct, man. And he still has it. Still has it.
Yep, definitely. And I just want to give a huge win today for the Yankees. The Yankees started the game with 7 straight singles, Rich. But, you know, it's funny. In between these singles, Josh Donaldson was up 4th, and he hits a ball, right? The ball goes to the top of the wall and goes back in play. But the funny thing I get from this, you guys have to watch the replay on this. There's a guy with a glove on, right? So the ball hits the top of the fence, and the guy just falls back. It's like, I'm just watching. It's like, what's up with this guy? He should have the Jeffrey Mayer thing, at least go for the ball, you know? The ball bounces right up the fence and comes back down the field. So Donaldson made up for it, either home run later on and stuff, you know. But Giancarlo Stanton hit his first home run in 57 days. And Jameson Taillon, I mean, the guy won 13 games. He's 13-4 for the season. His ERA is a little high. It's like 3.96, but he won today. And the Yankees take a 4.5 game lead. But now, tomorrow's a big game for the Yankees against Tampa. But you know what? Tampa and Toronto still have to play each other 9 games. And Tampa has to play Houston 6 games. So it's not an easy road for Tampa to overtake the Yankees. So Yankees are in good shape.
Well, listen.
They win tomorrow? Yeah.
I'm putting my 2 cents in here, too. I was looking at the standings, too. Not only are the Rays creeping, the Blue Jays are creeping, too, guys.
But that's the thing, Rich. They play each each other 9 times.
Yeah, I know that.
Each other up in those 9 games, the Blue Jays and the Rays.
Yeah, let me
True,
tell you
true.
I never thought, you guys, real quick, speaking of the standings, I never thought I'd hear myself say this. Watch out for the Baltimore Orioles.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
on a tear, and no one's talking about it, but they're on a tear. They could conceivably make the playoffs with the 17 format. They could happen.
No doubt about it, but today they lost 17-4 to the Red Sox today. But
Yo.
hey, they've been playing great.
But you guys, listen. You guys know as Yankee fans, man. History isn't too good to the Yankees when it comes to the Baltimore Orioles. The Baltimore Orioles have their number, man.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. They're going to be a live team in the next couple of years, Baltimore. They got some good kids over there.
And it's
that kid Rushman behind the plate. And
oh
stuff.
my God, it's like watching. It's like watching. I remember, the only reason why Aiden follows all these young kids, and like all of a sudden this kid comes up. I remember like 3 or 4 years ago, he showed watching these YouTube videos for bats. So like my son would want me to buy him a bat. And like this kid Rushman would be there like crushing like 600-foot balls with like a brand new like BB core bat, it's like,
right.
And now this kid's in the major leagues, and these kids are just exciting to watch, man. They're exciting. They're what baseball is about, exciting baseball. That's what it's about. You know what I mean? And you're right, Joe. You're right. Watch out for the Orioles, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, but though, I think the Yankees are going to start getting healthy. The guys are going to come back. I found it funny that Chapman, he's got to go on a rehab assignment because the infection from his tattoo. What do you need a rehab assignment for?
Oh my God, that is
Right?
just that's embarrassing, guys. Come on, really. It's embarrassing.
But tomorrow in Double A in Somerset, you're going to have Chapman, Miguel Castro, Harrison Bader. I mean, that's going to be a Yankee team tomorrow in
Guys,
Double A.
let me give you a little. Let me give you a little.
We're getting healthy.
Let me give you a little 411 on one of those guys you just said, Miguel Castro. Dude, he sucks. He's a Met. He never did anything for us, dude. He looks cool. He has got the rolled up pants. He's real skinny and lanky. He throws a good fastball. He throws it harder than he looks. But let me tell you something. He is going to come in a big game in the playoffs and let up a big home run. You'll be like, this kid sucks. Go back to the Mets. I'm telling you right now.
That was a great trade. Jolly Rodriguez for Miguel Castro, right, Rich?
Joey Rodriguez, yes. I know. Like I said, the Mets bullpen, my favorite topic of conversation for these assholes. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Rich, while we finish the Yankees, let's go on the Mets. I mean,
All right.
Pal.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
All right.
Listen, Rich, this isn't about us. This is about you.
Yeah, all right, man. Okay, listen. So, now, all right. I had something written down here that I want to rib you guys about anything else. You notice how I snuck that Blue Jays creeping up on you, and I was going to talk about the Orioles, but you guys,
Pissed me off, so.
you guys shifted and hit on me. Thank you. All right, so the New York Mets. All right, the Mets. The Mets are in. Now, let's not get too crazy about what's going on with the Mets right now. The only reason why I'm saying that is, yes, it sucks, bro. That they're up on a half a game on us now. Okay, now looking at the stats, listen, Alonso could definitely be hitting a lot more. I mean, Lindor, he's really hot or really cold. As a whole, they got to start hitting. But now, I could go off on a tangent again about the middle relief. I could yell and scream about this one sucks, that one sucks. I could, Marte, I think he's the first to come back. He came back tonight, or he's coming back tonight or something. I don't even know what time it is, but anyway. What I'm going to talk about is the reason why the Mets, and I'm going to tell you something, guys, right now. The Mets and any other team in the major leagues that's trying to chase this team, the Braves, okay? Now, the Braves, the pitching right now, the Braves have a couple pitchers right now. They got Fried, Wright, Morton, and this rookie sensation Strider, who struck out 9 his last outing, and he struck out 16 Rockies last week, okay? Now, between these 4 guys, okay, they have a 4th pitcher, again, like, I don't know, I even forgot what his name is, whatever. Between these 4 guys going into the playoffs, they got 150, 154, 180, and 183 strikeouts. That's Strider, Morton, Wright, and Fried. That's the reason why these fucking Braves are winning all these games, okay? Not to mention Michael Harris II. The kid's batting .312. He's hitting the shit out of the ball. I think he's got like 10 doubles in the last couple of games. Oh, here it is. In the last 7 games, he's got 10 hits. He's got 4 RBIs. Dansby Swanson smashing the ball, 4 RBIs. Acuna's starting to play like he was. Robbie Grossman. The Braves are a team right now in their last 30 games. They're 23-7. Now, you tell me any fucking team in the major leagues right now that's playing on that level that could keep up with that kind of winning streak. Dude, last 20 games, they're 15-5. They're right now, as we speak, they're playing Seattle again. They won last night. In their last 30 games, they're on a second 8-in-a-row run. They had an 8-in-a-row game in the beginning of this 30-game stint, and now they're on another. If they win tonight, they're on a 9-game winning streak. How can you keep up with that as a baseball team? The Mets are not really playing. They're playing bad. They should have beaten Pittsburgh last week, that game. They should be beating the shitty teams. They should be sweeping these teams. I don't want to hear this shit about they got to win these games, but how the hell are you going to keep up with a team that's just pounding everybody? They're not just pounding the Marlins. They're pounding everybody. Everybody.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, they're going to have over 100 wins, both of these teams. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead, what do you got?
Tonight, I just want to jump in. If they win tonight, they tie last year's record. So they might be the most improved team in baseball.
Bro,
and they're the world champs, believe it or not. Crazy, right?
And it's got to, listen, is it the coach? I probably. I mean, listen, they got a lot of good players on this team, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, they're playing at such a high level that it's hard to keep up. And sounds like an excuse. Okay, the Mets have been in first place the whole season, okay? They lost to the Marlins last night, but they came back and beat the shit out of them tonight. But, that being said, the Braves are the reason why I'm holding a grudge against the Mets not playing well right now, dude. I mean, they're playing okay, but the fucking Braves are playing out of their mind, and it's just like they can't compete. How you gonna compete on 2 8-game winning streaks, 28 home runs in that stint, 111 RBIs, 18 hits in the last 20 games? How do you compete with that? Listen, you guys could beat me up now. I'm ready to take the punches. What do you got?
You know what, Rich? I'm gonna tell two things. I'm gonna tell you two things that are gonna make you feel better, right? And not because we're related. That's part of it.
Absolutely.
But also, I'll give us some background here too. Earlier this season, and Rich, he can attest to this. I'm in the start of the year. I'm putting my bets in for win loss over under, right? And DeGrom goes down, and I'm a little concerned about it. And he says, Joe, don't worry, this team is good for at least 92, 93 wins. And you know what, Rich? I will give you every credit in the world because that's the trend they're on. So whatever money I win, I'll throw you a narrow against that.
That sounds good, dude. That sounds great.
Two things.
Yes, go ahead.
This should make you feel better, okay? For what it is. The Mets match up well against the Braves. They've played them tough the whole year. And when it comes down to playing, if they play in the playoffs, God willing, Buck is going to have that team ready to go. So I have no worries there. But I think we texted back and forth about this the other day. September baseball is very different. It's very dangerous.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you why. Because you have teams out there, the bottom feeders, teams that you didn't think much of. Those guys are fighting for jobs. Mm-hmm. Right, now, whether it's with their team next year or with another team for free agency, whether it's minor leaguers that are coming up and trying to get some time on the field, you have no idea what teams you're playing. Teams that were bottom feeders all year are going to play tough again for next year. That's really what they're playing for next season. All right, so it's a situation where you kind of have the perfect storm where the Braves are playing on their freaking mind, Mets are on a slump, and everyone around the league is playing for their job. Yeah. All right, so just you take it one day at a time, one game at a time. I know we're not going to Boomer before, but that's what he always says. And in sports, it's the God's honest truth. And Mets will be okay. I'd like to see them win the division. You get that second seed. That's much better than being the wild card. Right. We'll see what happens, but they'll be okay, I think.
And like I've been saying these guys the whole time. It's like you got the Cardinals. They're going to win the division. Yeah. All right. So and listen, they're 87 wins. You got the Brewers are not even close. And you got the Dodgers. Listen, 94 wins. They're running away with everything. So both of these teams are going to make the playoffs, and maybe they're both going to have over 100 wins. I don't know. There's 20. Listen, the Braves got 24 games left, including tonight. The Mets now have 22 games left after tonight. So now the Mets are 88 and 52, and the Braves are 87. No, so now that they're pretty much tied. If the Braves lose, they're tied. So I'm hoping that they get in, and the Mets are built for a playoff run. But God willing, everybody stays healthy. I mean, when you got guys like DeGrom and Scherzer in that lineup and throwing a Bassett on a 3-man rotation. I mean, Carrasco's got to get his shit together, and you got Diaz playing out of his mind. The Mets are built for a playoff run, man. They really are. I mean, pitching, defense. I mean, they always say pitching and defense wins big games, and they got some bats too. So the bats just got to get going. But I think the Mets are going to be okay. I think you're right, Joe. Yeah. All right, Eric.
Don't forget playoff time. Everyone's 0-0, Rich. So it's the season basically. That's it. So it's the cream that rises to the top in October. So we'll wait and see what happens there and stuff. But next year baseball, the whole landscape's going to change. We got a couple of new rule changes and stuff. Starting, just just want to know your guys' take. I kind of like this pitch clock thing. I know they use it in the minor leagues, and going to a couple of Renegades this year, I kind of dig it, getting out of the game in 2.5 hours. It helps living 3 miles away from the stadium too. You know,
Yeah.
it's at 9:30, get home 9:35. But you know, I think the clock is a definite improvement. I don't know what your guys' take is on that.
Joe, what do you think? So I got a little bit of a. What do you think? What do you think about this?
I love it. I love the clock. Speed it up. And here's the thing. We spoke before, guys. I'm a big football guy. Football was my sport growing up. I played from 5th grade through college. Played Little League through like 7th grade. After that, I'm done with it. But football's pretty rigid, obviously, with the game clock. Go pop, 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 pop. I'll tell you right now, they're trying to ban the shift. I don't like that at all. I think, hey, if a team wants to shift, you want to put 9 guys in the infield, I'm fine with that. If you want to steal signs, I'm fine with that too. In football, we call that good scouting. Okay, It's good scouting. It's good game prep.
I agree.
As far as the shift goes, hey, if they want to like overload one side of the infield, bunt the other side. Learn to hit the other way. All right. The fact they're trying to ban it, I think that's just. It's a generation we're in right now. I guess I don't want to tell you, but that's my take on the shift. You want to load 9 guys in the infield. You want to put 4 in the outfield. Yeah. I have no problem with that. I don't, the idea with the clock speeding it up. I think that's a great move. Guys with little be out there scratching their nuts. Okay. Yeah. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. Now
I gotta go against you, Joe, on the shift. I kind of like that being banned. Sorry about that. I hate the 4 outfielders. I mean, just put 2 players on the left, 2 players on the right. That's the way baseball is meant to be played. I mean, this guy Joe Madden came up and he tried to change the whole landscape of baseball because the Tampa Bay Rays, and he got the Rays to the World Series, but they needed to do this in order to compete and stuff. But I did some statistics. I just want to share with you guys. So Joey Votto on ground balls from 2015 to 2017 batted 246. From 2018 to 22, 187. Mookie Betts in 2015 on ground balls batted 325. In 2022, he's batting 213. Wow. So, batting averages are down 32 points the past 4 years because the hard-hit ground balls are going right to the fielders. And you know what? If you ban the shift, Joey Gallo's going to hit 300 because the shift's going to help like Joey Gallo type hitter, And also, you're going to see infielders with range have value now too in terms of free agency and stuff. So like that Derek Jeter going the hole with the jump,
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Let's take a quick moment to let's honor that because in the hole that was so great that they have a shoe named after that. You see, he's got the
unbelievable.
That's great.
Unbelievable.
I think you got to bring back old type baseball and stuff. Even with the clock. I mean, it's going to go back to 1985 now. You're going to trim off like 26 minutes a game. It's going to be great. So, but you have these pitchers, Kenley Jansen, it's 26.1 seconds per pitch. And I think they said there's 363 pitchers who take more than 15 seconds. But the general managers have to make decisions now because these guys that go slow, will it affect them with the clock now? So if you look at a Jensen, a Chapman, guys that just hold on to the ball. And it seems like it's mostly the relievers who do this, But you're going to have these general managers think twice now before they sign a pitcher because of this. It's going to, it's a whole new baseball now, basically. Yeah. So.
Well, that goes both ways. It's on the GMs, but it's on the pitchers, too. It's like, hey, we're changing the rules. Change your game or go back groceries in the offseason, I would tell you.
Yeah.
But,
exactly. If you don't like it, go get another job and stuff like that, right?
Or go.
Hey, Rich. Yeah, Rich, what do you think?
Well, listen. I know. I always used to be a guy that preaches like, I like the old way of baseball. I'm a purist. I'm not a fucking purist because I guess I used to think I was, but I think some of these new changes that bring it into baseball go. Like listen, for years, the DH coming into the league was a big. I don't like the DH. The pitchers should hit. I mean, look at this. I mean, now, I don't know how you guys felt about that. I'm glad the DH is here because, money for... Now, look, monetarily, listen, you're going to get a guy that's going to go to the American League and make $20 million a year just to hit a baseball, and then you can't have that same kind of thing going on in the National League. There's got to be, money. Once the money came into it, I think you have to have the DH, and it's also going to open up a lot more teams. I know, like I said, I know, Eric, you like the... I know that, but the DH is one of these things because once I embraced the DH in the National League, I realized I'm not a fucking purist. Because you know what though, I like the pitch clock going because I do like those pitching matchups, I really do. But there are times when it's like, just come on, let's go. You know, like I used to love the Greg Maddux games where he'd throw like 80 pitches in a complete game. You know, it's like those were good. But I like the pitch clock. You know, let's keep it moving. The bigger bases. Is that because people are getting hurt maybe, or is that because I don't know.
Stolen bases too, Rich, with the big bases now, because they have an
Yeah.
extra couple inches or feet to go to steal the base now.
Yeah,
and stuff
listen,
like that.
look,
So,
the extra base, that's all bullshit. That's all fanatics to make more money on cutting up the bases and selling them for little pieces, okay? That's all that's about, okay?
You-
Never thought about that, Joe. You're right.
Joe, you might be right about that, Joe, 'cause it's all about the almighty dollar these days. Wow, that's a good. That's good. I got to look into that. I definitely got to look into that, man. I thought it was just because a lot of the guys are getting older and they're blind and they can't see the bases. I can't see shit right now. I got glasses on. I can't see nothing. You know. But anyway,
Well,
the bigger
actually,
bases.
That brings up a good point, though. Okay, they're making the bases bigger. Okay, does that in my mind that increases the stolen base record for like Ricky Henderson,
Yes.
Luke Rock, and these guys. The guys that they stole the smaller bases.
Bro,
All right, so what happens?
it doesn't
now?
matter. Listen, they can make.
No one's gonna
Listen,
break that
Joe.
record, Joe. No one's gonna break that
Joe,
record.
they can make they can triple the size of the base and they're not breaking the stolen base record for Ricky Henderson, dude. You know, and I just saw you know a real quick thing about Ricky Henderson. He holds the record for he holds the Yankee record for stolen bases in a single season. Did you know that?
Yes,
I'm
which
not
will never be
surprised.
broken
I'm not
either.
surprised.
92. Ricky stole 92 bases for the Yankees, and that's Ricky saying that about himself.
And that's yeah, exactly. Ricky refers to himself.
Yes, it does in the first person. But yeah, man, I mean, you're right. I never thought of that. The bigger bases is going to increase the. What are they going to increase? Like now the guy's going to have 60 instead of 50, or stolen base is a lost art. That's we went over that. And Ricky Henderson, greatest leadoff hitter ever, stole the base. Is never going to be broken. Like I said, they could triple the size of the base. But also here we got the.
Rich, the Mariners just took the lead over the Braves, 1-0, by the way.
Oh, fantastic! Please. What channel is that on? I'm gonna have to switch the channel right
I'm
now.
watching on the MLB.com, whatever. I got
All
the
right,
package.
I think that's got to be on something.
Yeah.
All right, so now this is something also that I was the shift. All right, the shift. I fucking hate the shift. I watch. Where's the shortstop? Where's the third baseman? Oh, on the other side. I'm saying to myself, why don't they just bunt? A la Matt Carpenter, right? A couple of years ago, bunted for a double. Listen, I'm all for. You can't. I guess if they're going to do it, you can't ban it. I mean, like Joe said, you set up the way you want to set up, and again, it's going back to changing the game of baseball. I get it, but right, Joe's right, man. You know, and when I was talking to somebody the other day, I'm thinking I could think up two guys right off the bat. They would never do the shift on. Is Joe? You're a little young, but Rod Carew. They would never put the shift on Rod Carew.
Oh, yeah.
Ichiro. They would never put the shift on an Ichiro.
How about Pete Rose?
No,
You think
never.
Pete Rose? Yeah.
Never.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. You know, Joe. He doesn't. He thinks Pete Rose is a piece of shit, dude. He thinks Pete Rose is a piece of shit.
He's a douche.
Hey, listen. He also thinks Wayne Gretzky is the greatest athlete.
No.
I'm saving that for later.
My man, there you go, Joe.
In terms of his sport, though, Joe.
All right, wait a second. We're getting off topic here. All right, the shift they're talking about. The shift going away, whatever. Right? They're just going to go back to, everybody playing their position. I guess everybody's being a position player, but they got to, listen, is this going to be the last rule change we're seeing, do you think? Or is there going to be more rule changes to come down the pipe?
Every year there's going to be rule changes, Rich. I mean, soon you're going to have the father come out and pitch to the player when there's ball four and stuff like that, like they do a coach pitch.
Yeah.
But every year there's rules. So I think these were just for this year, and next year we'll see what happens in 2024 with the rules, with new rules.
Yeah, so we got pitch clock, bigger bases in the shift, whatever. Just let's as long as they keep the DH. Like I said again, I know I don't want to see I don't want to see a pitcher get up there and just fucking swing the bat. Listen, I get it. Madison Bumgarner hit a couple of home runs. I get it. Syndergaard hit a couple of home runs. Even Jacob deGrom hit a couple of home runs. I think he went 4 for 4 last year in one game. Whatever. I just don't want to see them going through the motions. It's amazing to see that sometimes you look at some of these colleges and these high schools. The pitcher's like their best hitter, which is weird to me. But anyway, so that's what.
New rule, Rich. I got one more new rule. How about the Yankees and Red Sox don't have to play every Sunday night during the season when they play on Sundays? Can we get a Yankees Red Sox day game here and there, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think there should be more. I think there should be more day games. I really do. But I get it. I understand. I guess listen, we would never get to the stadium, and I remember, and I get it. I know that we've had this talk, like back then, not everybody, it was just easier to get to a daytime baseball game back in that time, and it's just hard. I get it. So so all around the country has to see it, and there's a lot of money involved. I understand, but it's just nice to go to an afternoon baseball game. Like that random Tuesday afternoon where you're at the stadium at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's kind of pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I think we about ran through the MLB. Now, Joe, we're gonna be talking your language here, buddy. All right.
Here it comes.
Now we're gonna go into the NFL. I mean, a little bit, but we're gonna go into the college football a little bit. Now, I was out all day. Talking about football. I was out all day. I just want to give a little plug for my son Jack. My son Jack had his first football game today. He was down in Yonkers, dude. And I know I keep saying the kid's never played football before. I mean, he's a good athlete, and Jack couldn't tell you who the quarterback for the Jets is. He doesn't know. He doesn't watch it. He doesn't play. The kid's a good athlete, but very proud of him. Today was his first game. He played defensive end. He had 2 sacks and he had 2 tackles, and he came off the field happy. And John Jay beat the shit out of Yonkers, 42-6. And listen, Yonkers didn't really look like they were a good team, but Jack, for never playing football in his life, jumping on the field, listen, he's learning. It's a learning process. He's a big kid. I just got to give him a lot of credit for taking the bull by the horns and enjoying and taking on a different sport, because he is a baseball player as well. So that's coming up soon as well. But it was cool, watching him play. So college football. I wasn't really around today to go into some of these college football games like Eric was talking about. So I don't know if you two were up on what happened today with Notre Dame and Alabama and whatever else was going on.
Yeah, so I'll jump in, Rich. The number one team in the land, Alabama, right? Sloppy game. They had 15 penalties, horrific offensive line. But Heisman Trophy winner from last year, Bryce Young, pulled it out of his hat again. Last second to beat Texas. He had a difficult time under pressure, but he avoided a sack in the final minutes and took the ball downfield, scrambled for 20 yards, setting up the last second field goal. So Crimson Tide were 21-point favorites going in. They won by 1 point. Some people got rich picking Texas today. But Texas on the map, but Alabama will continue their number 1 rankings.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm right about this. I don't want to speak out of school, but is the Manning kid, is he going to Texas next year?
I don't know.
They were showing a video of him last night in his high school game, man. That kid he's just like, obviously you see when a kid is just better than everybody else on the field. It really shows in high school. And he's just running around the field last night like he could just do whatever the fuck he wants. They're saying, I don't know if he's going to the University of Texas, but this isn't even Peyton or Eli's kid. This is the other brother who hurt his shoulder when he was like 12, and he was supposed to be the next coming, but this is his kid. His name's Archie, named after the dad. So, I'm very curious to see what's going on with that kid in the coming years.
Crazy. And then you have the Sun Belt Conference with 2 big upsets today, but this Notre Dame game, crazy, right? Yeah, Marcus Freeman becomes the first Notre Dame head coach to lose his first 3 games. And we talked about cupcake games. Well, Marshall, of all teams, goes to South Bend today and shocks the Irish.
Wow.
They scored 2 touchdowns in a minute late in the 4th quarter, including a huge interception for a touchdown. The big question is, where will Notre Dame be ranked? Right now, they're ranked 8th,
Dude.
But basically they just shot themselves in the foot today. Marshall, a Sun Belt school, received $1.25 million for travel to South Bend today. And the funny thing is, Brian Kelly went from Notre Dame to LSU, and basically he killed both programs. So
I understand it's Notre Dame. It's Notre Dame. I understand that, but I have a lot of Notre Dame friends that are going to beat me up for this because, they love their Notre Dame, and I got 2 people in particular that probably punch me in the face after I say this, but when is the NCAA and when is these people that are bringing out the rankings going to realize that Notre Dame does not have to be in the top 10 every year?
Yeah, Notre Dame brings in the money, though, Rich.
I understand that. Again, I know. But why every year do we got to see a Notre Dame team going in as an 8 seed or a 4,
Rich, here's another thing, too, that Notre Dame has going for them, and it's pretty slick on their end, is they're an independent, right? Mm-hmm. So what's very unique about that is you're almost like a free agent team, so to speak. So when they put together these schedules every year, you're not always going to play your conference every week. There's always going to be a gap somewhere, right? So they have the ability, they can just go, they can kind of plug and play them as needed. And when you start talking about scheduling, you start talking about TV, all this other stuff, it's in the best interest of both Notre Dame and the NC2A to keep Notre Dame relevant. All right, now they don't do themselves no favors by losing to Marshall. I'll tell you that.
No,
they do no favors there. But it's kind of one of those deals where you hear about designer shoes and designer handbags. well, you got designer schools and designer teams.
True.
Notre Dame's one of those teams, and it is what what they say. It is what it is, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah,
See what happens next week. They play California. California comes across the country to play Notre Dame next Saturday, 2:30. So we'll see what happens there, right?
Yep.
But what happened? Listen, what happened today with Alabama and Texas? Like, what was the what happened today? What happened at the end there? Was supposed to be some crazy ending.
Texas scored, right? They scored the field goal of 19-17. The problem is Texas left too much time on the clock, Rich. That was the problem. And I looked at FanDuel, and even with Texas leading 19-17 in the money line, because the odds you could bet during the game, the money line still favored Alabama. That's how they knew Alabama's going to win this game. So what happens is Alabama gets the ball, they start marching down the field, and then there was a safety blitz. So Young almost got tackled, but the safety kind of like grabbed him, and all of a sudden Young takes off down the field 20 yards, and that was it. They were in field goal range. They get the field goal. Texas gets the ball back 1 or 2 plays, nothing much can happen. But that's what happened there, and a 1-point win for Alabama. Crazy.
Wow,
Unreal.
All right.
And then you had Appalachian State, who I mentioned last week or a couple of weeks when we talked about college football. So Appalachian State went into Ann Arbor, Michigan 15 years ago.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
they knocked them off.
Put them on the map, Joe, right?
Yep,
so they became Division I. And today they go into Texas A&M, and they beat Texas A&M. Yeah, they knocked them off. So Texas A&M was the 6th seed, the 6th-ranked team, I should say. So the Sun Belt Conference, 2 big wins today. But crazy.
Let me tell you something. That Appalachian State team, those guys, this past week, that must have been the most anxious, most angry practice they had. Because I don't know if you saw the game last week. They played North Carolina. They lost to them in overtime. But Appalachian State scored 40 points in the fourth quarter. They scored 40 points in the fourth quarter, still lost the goddamn game. Okay? Wow. So, I'll tell you right now, I played college ball for 3 years. Anytime you have a game like that, oh my God, the next day, you're pissed.
Yeah.
You're pissed. Yeah. Your coaches are throwing shit around, they're screaming at you, and those guys, believe me, they were ready to play today. I have no doubt about that, and it showed. They're going in and knocking them off. So.
What do you think? What do you guys think about them thinking of expanding the playoff model they got there?
I like it.
Yeah.
Money.
But you know what, though?
Yeah, but is it though, Joe? Go ahead.
Less SEC. No more SEC.
But that's the thing. Well, I guess it is. I'm sure they're going to figure out how these sponsors are going to get their money because listen, you have the you have the EDUBBS and MURF podcast bowl. I think but I guess they're going to get their money. But how are these? Look, let's say they expanded to what I think of 8 teams, right? They're expanding to 12.
12, I think.
All right, so they're thinking of expanding to 12 games. All right, so that's 12 games that you have to find a home for in a bowl. Now, how do they determine which bowl is going to host the first round? Which bowl is going to, how are they going to determine that? Or are they going to have to keep these kids in school longer? What's going to be the logistics behind that? Because I guess, what is it? They're just going to say the Rose Bowl is just going to be the big draw every year because it's the oldest one? Or no, or the Orange Bowl is going to say, wait, what about me? And the Cotton Bowl is going to say, what about me?
Well, they'll have to start the playoffs before Christmas, Right? They'd have to start the week of the Army-Navy game almost, right, Joe?
Yeah, before that, or surely thereafter. They'll figure it out one way or another, and whether it's you play every week or every other week, or like you said, they just mesh it in the bowls. I mean, not my problem, right? We don't get paid enough to think about this shit, right? But ultimately, it'll be a deal. Yeah, I mean, you just take the existing bowl games, and then you go from there. My guess it'll be a combination of almost like the NCAA, the basketball does it, where okay, if your conference championship, maybe they factor that in. If you have 2 ranked teams playing, they're playing the conference championship game, and then you go from there. Given time, they'll work out the team.
But you know what, though? You know what's crazy, though, is the NCAA basketball. They do it right because they've just been doing it for so many years, And I think that there's so much more of Norfolk Community College, coming in and beating Duke than there is I don't know, whatever. Name your bumfuck college beating Alabama. You know what I mean?
It's hard. The offensive linemen are different weights. I mean, Alabama, the guy's 400 pounds, where at the Culinary Institute football team might be 180 pounds on the line. It's hard. Basketball's much easier for the upsets. Football, not. Yeah, exactly. So,
let's be frank too. This is a former college player talking right here. Not every school has the same academic requirements or credentials. And I'll be frank, I wouldn't be surprised if these guys even go to school, what they're learning, how many credits they're taking. You see it regionally, you see it between the schools. And hate to say it like that, but
that's true.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that too. It's like, especially too with how each program handles their academics, and maybe they do it. They take a break during the season, you load up after the season, or you do teams. You do team studies. So like basically the entire team is taking the same class, almost like when you were in school, you had special ed type of deal where everyone's kind of off to the side. Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either. Hey, they're getting results. If kids are graduating, they're getting good grades. So be it. But every school's different, especially what programs you're taking, this, that, and the other. So and the SEC, literally the SEC could literally be their own NC2A.
Yeah.
They do not need the NC2A. They really don't. They can, if the NC2A tries passing rules, every time that comes up, any kind of academic sanctions involving the SEC, it literally just goes away.
It goes away. Yeah, exactly.
It goes away.
Yeah, it completely goes away. It's listen, we could go on for hours about how the NCAA is corrupt too. It's we could go into hours about that. But now let's. What's that?
One more thing, just
sure.
Another intangible about this playoff thing, because a lot of the kids don't even play in the bowl games because they're going to become pro and they don't want to get hurt. So
that's what's becoming also.
So that's another intangible they have to look at the NCAA.
Very true.
They expand the playoffs to 12 teams and stuff.
Yeah, very true, very true. All right, so now we've been looking for a Giants correspondent for the last couple of shows, and I don't know, Joe, you're gelling pretty good with us tonight, so I think maybe we might have found a Giants correspondent, because like the Yankees, you are a big Giant fan. Now, very curious, we're cousins, we know each other for a long time, and we discuss sports. Whenever we see each other, it's usually to me, you, and we see Kevin and Bobby, like we'll just, We'll just hang out. We'll just talk in a corner. We'll just talk sports for hours. And I always told you guys I was going to get a podcast. We could just bullshit about this stuff on the air, and here we are, Joe. Now, I don't think you ever told me, real briefly explain, why you a Giant fan.
It's one of those, that's how you grow up, right? So I think my twofold. My dad was a Giants fan to the point when he would play pools or bets, he would go with the Giants. But my dad, my father, he hates the color green. Which go figure, because we're part Irish, right? He absolutely hates the color green. So we go with the Giants. That's how I grew up, a Giants fan, and it stuck. That's what I know. And I'll give a shout out to your father. So believe it or not, your father's a Bills fan, correct?
Yeah, my father hasn't watched. He hasn't watched football in a couple of years, but he likes the Bills.
Yeah, but no, it's a combination of, like I said, the color green was. He don't like green, which is that's another awkward thing too. Because I said I went to Brewster. We're Brewster Bears. We're green and white.
That's funny.
So that's a whole other thing. But no, I was just grew up as a Giants fan, and it's a big blue. That's your team, and
I know this. I spent some time growing up in Putt Lake. There's a lot of Giant fans over there. Again, it's another situation where I put myself in where I'm fighting off Giant fans, Yankee fans. I've been fighting fans my whole life. So, all right, cool, man. Like the Jets, we have our little story. Eric has a story about the Buccaneers. But this year's Giants team. Now, looking at this year's Giant team on paper, me and Eric were discussing this. Now, Daniel Jones, I don't know, man. You shouldn't have even had this kid on the team in the first place. Now, the only shining spot that I see as just a football fan, and I've been praising this guy because I think he's gonna take the NFL probably by storm this year and just be the shining star of the Jets, is Saquon Barkley, because he has to prove something this year, because the minute some other team says to Saquon, come play for us, be a running back, he is out of there like his fucking head's on fire. He's gone from the Giants. So I really don't see too many shining points, defensively, offensively. What do you think this year is going to propel the Giants to having a decent season or a shitty season?
I'm going to tell you right now, this is as a lifelong football fan, someone who played the game for a minute. I coached for 3 years with youth sports, which that's a whole other issue we can talk about too, youth sports coach and so on and so forth, right?
Absolutely.
2 things. This can sound very cliche, but 2 things here, okay? As your offensive line goes, so goes your team. And being a Giants fan right now is an abusive relationship. I'm starting to feel as you felt as a Jets fan for so many years. All right, I am buying into the philosophy or the belief that Joe Namath sold his soul to the devil to the Jets to win, and the Jets will not be successful until Joe Namath passes away.
I like it.
With that said, like I said, so goes as the offensive line goes, so goes your team. They got the bookends. I love the tackles. They got Neal, the kid they picked up from Bama. Andre Thomas, I think he's going to come into his own. But the interior line is banged up. They're playing musical chairs with those guys until they get that line situated. If you can't protect your quarterback, you can't protect your running back, you can't throw the pass, blah, 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 so on and so forth. All right? So going into this season, I'll tell you right now, I put my stuff into FanDuel. FanDuel, Caesars 2 days ago. If this team wins 7 games, it's a good season.
Okay, wow.
And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I meet my words.
I think you're right.
I took 2 bets. I took over 6.5 for the win, and there was a parlay deal they had with the commies, the Washington commies, the Steelers, and somebody else under 7.5 wins. I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, I was calling them the Commander Skins the other night. I like the commies better, dude. I like the commies.
And listen, this is the age, and a whole other topic too. We start talking about politics and whatnot, but this is the age we're living in. They get rid of the Redskins because it's offensive. They change into the Commanders, which are nicknamed the commies. So only the Washington Redskins is offensive, but the Washington commies is perfectly acceptable. All right?
I hear you, dude. Yeah.
But no, forget that. But no, so it's going to be tough. The fact that your line's banged up. If you can't protect, you can't do anything. And keep in mind, with football, all right, football is very unique in this aspect where the quarterback and the offensive line are the only players you keep on the field throughout the game, right on the offensive side of the ball. All right, you have different packages coming in. Whether it's 4th and a mile, 1st and goal, the linemen are always going to be there. The backs, the running backs, the tight ends, your skills guys, we're going to be swapping them out, right? Your O-line's always there, and it's very, very difficult to protect or to hide a weakness in your offensive line. All right. You look at the other night. We had the Bills and the Rams. The Bills kicked ass. I was very impressed with the Bills. But you look at their offensive line; those are fucking maulers right there, man.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't want to play them. But I don't know if that's something I watch games now more and more. I don't watch the quarterback. I don't watch the running back. I watch the offensive line. And as that game went on, it got to the late third quarter. The Bills they could have done whatever fucking play they wanted. If they wanted to play with a fucking beach ball, they could have scored. All right, I wish the Giants could get to that point. Go back 10 years ago when we had Eli, Coughlin, and all the great guys they had there. But anyway, I digress. But the situation with Danny Dimes, they did him no favors coming in. You look back, it's almost like it's damaged goods. They really hurt him, and I've seen enough out of him to know. If he's a competent quarterback, I like him. Nothing personal, but he's going to be gone next year.
Joe, I think didn't he go? Listen, correct me if I'm wrong. He went to Duke. Maybe he's going to be a doctor in 2 years.
Good for him. Listen,
but Joe, I have a question though about you said Danny Dimes could be gone next year, but Brian Doble, he developed Josh Allen. Josh Allen was a nobody too. So do we give some patience, or automatically you cut ties? Because I know next year's draft is going to be strong with quarterbacks. This is it, right?
No, this is it. You cut bait. Here's the reason why. This guy, he's Dave Brown 2.0, okay? Since he's been here, he's had multiple coaches, multiple GMs, Unfortunately, the kid, it's damaged goods. I don't know what their personal relationship is, but just from a football standpoint, from a business standpoint, it's probably in the best interest of them to part ways. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option. There's no indication that they want to re-sign him. He's an injury liability. Quite frankly, I don't know his situation. If I were him, I would have tried to get some kind of injury buyouts, settlement, because neck injuries are scary.
Yeah.
They really are. Here's the thing. You hurt your arm, your leg, you tear an ACL, it sucks, but you heal, you come back. A neck injury is very, very scary because, God forbid you hit the wrong way, you fall the wrong way, you get carried out on a fucking stretcher, and if you walk again, it's a miracle, right?
Yeah.
So there's that aspect to it. And again, it's not fair to him because they kept changing the coordinators on him. They kept changing the coaches, this, that, and the other. But when they brought him in, the first round 6th pick, right? High end pick. If you're bringing a kid in, like you're paying that kind of money, you're paying the King's ransom to get him. You're using that kind of draft capital to get him. You got to start him right away. It can't be a situation. Okay, we're still holding on to Eli, and you're bringing him in. And as far as Dable goes, here's the thing. Yeah, he did a great job with Josh Allen. But it was just coming in. It was kind of a one-on-one deal. There was no change. There was no influence outside otherwise. So unfortunately I feel for the guy. I hope he has a great year. He's able to market himself for next year. But that's another thing too. Even with FanDuel, I think they had it for like the over/under on yards was 33 unders or some 33 change. I took the under with the idea that he's not going to play a full season. And I tell you what, like Tyrod, there's a reason they brought in Tyrod Taylor. Okay, Tyrod Taylor, experienced, competent backup. I like him. He looked great in the preseason. But he's going to play. It would not shock me if he plays 6 or more games. Okay.
Really?
If Danny can play, if he plays 8 games, I think that's great. But we'll see what happens.
That's-
As far as say about Saquon, here's the deal with Saquon. That goes hand in hand because hey, if your quarterback's not doing well, if your line can't protect, you can have Barry Sanders back there. And Barry Sanders has some great years, but Barry Sanders has some mediocre offensive lines as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
If Barry Sanders had Emmitt Smith's offensive line, he'd be easily regarded as the best running back in history.
Easily.
He wouldn't be doing that with Jim Brown.
No.
But here's another thing too. So I tell you about that from the offensive standpoint. Defense, they shifted to a 3-4 set.
That's what I'm curious to hear about. I want to hear about that defense because, yeah, go ahead.
Defense, and here's the thing. Giants, they've always been a defensive team. Whenever they've been successful, they've always had great defenses. The 3-4 set, if you run a 3-4, you're saying that you have supreme confidence in your nose tackle, and then you have great linebackers. Okay, now they got Leonard Williams. I love that guy. I think he's a phenomenal player. He can definitely hold his own. The issue is the linebackers. Okay, so the guy they literally just signed the guy to be their starter, been fucking cut from I think like 2/3 of the teams in the NFL. He's been with him at some point. And also the fact that Blake Martinez was released. I know there was a mutual decision. There was some concerns there with his health. But that guy, that's one of those guys. Just for having him on the team, on the field, you're a better team. And the fact he's gone now, you look up and down that defense. It's a very young defense now. They have good coaching. Don't get me wrong, but it's a very young defense. And that's the name of the game in the NFL. You got to have it's a kind of balance. You need skills guys, but you need experience there. You need look at the Bills the other day with Von Miller, right? That guy's been around for a while. Just having that guy in the field, or a player like that, it just makes everyone better.
You need a top level quarterback in this league, and you need a better than average defense.
Well, they got Rick Martindale, the coach, right? He was my favorite game show host when I was growing up.
You beat me to it, dude. You beat me to it. I was drinking water. You beat me to it.
I got one more question for you, Joe.
Sure.
We talked about Barkley and Jones, but what about this bust, Kenny Galladay? Is it a $72 million bust, or could he rebound to his 2019 1,190-yard form?
Okay, so I got a few things to say about this here. Okay, first you look at I'm going to go and touch on different subjects here. So kind of like some sort of like what do they call that? Weaponized autism. Okay, I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff here. The way the Giants spent money on Gettleman. Oh my God! I mean, Dave Gettleman. I'm glad he's retired. The best thing he ever did was leave the Giants.
Right.
Wish him no ill will health, but thank God he's gone. Because the way that guy spent money, fucking idiot. So I'm gonna say he's a fucking idiot.
Yep.
Right now, the way the Giants are structured right now, the majority of their money is in their running backs. All right, and if you're running a team, the majority of their money is in their running backs. They have more money in offense than defense, so be it. But more money in their wide receivers. I apologize. Sorry, my mistake. I apologize. The majority of their money is in their wideouts. Okay.
Yeah.
Typically, if you're going to be successful in the league, your wideouts they need to be homegrown. All right, there's a reason for that. There's a reason you keep them cheap, you keep them humble, and it's not a situation where you have somebody like a T.O. or an Ocho Cinco coming in trying to call the shots. Okay?
Bill Belichick built an offense around shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. As far as Galladay goes, I mean, again, unfortunately, none of it's good. I mean, good for him, I guess. He's going to make a lot of money, right? But you're not going to see the production he once had, especially if Danny Dimes has a good season. The guy I'm actually interested to see is Young Joker. All right, I want to see Young Joker. That's Kadarius Toney.
Yes.
Here's the thing. We saw flashes from him last year. Very athletic kid, almost like an OBJ. Unfortunately, I think he's going to kind of go along the same line where I don't know if he's going to be able to stay on the field, but the guy seems to have some kind of head problems. We'll see what happens. Exciting player to watch. We'll see. Like I said. But you're just going back to the team that the Gettleman built. Oh my God! Just the way they spent money, the way they drafted some of the guys they have. It's just a shit show. It's a mess. And,
it's almost like you think you went in there to sabotage him.
That's again.
Isaiah Thomas them.
Here's the thing. If you're one step ahead of the crowd, you're a genius. You're an oracle. If you're 2 steps ahead of the crowd, you're a tinfoil hat fucking nut. Okay? That very well could be. It wouldn't shock me at all. But I kind of feel like a Jets fan now because a Giants fan used to some level of confidence.
Yeah.
Okay. Even you go back to Tom Coughlin in his last year. They weren't a great team. I think they went 7-9, 6-10, something like that. But every game he coached, they were in it. There was there was a level of competency in it. Even guys they would bring off the street or their backups, they knew the hell they were doing.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Joe? You just brought up a good point there too. Coughlin demanded that shit from them. He didn't just ask. He demanded respect, and they gave it to him. He's just one of those. Listen.
Old school.
Say what you want. Say what you want about old school asshole coaches. You know, and when they demand respect, listen, I understand you got to win. You can't be a dickhead and go in there and not win. But if you're a winner, and you demand respect, you're going to get the respect that you deserve.
Yeah, so that's part of it. Even going back even to Rex Ryan when he coached the Jets. I mean, Rex, Rex was definitely a player's coach, but he would level the boom when he had to. And
yes.
I love that hard knocks when they had a team meeting and I guess guys were bullshitting on the practice field. He's ripping into him for a good 15 minutes, and then he ends the team meeting. All right, let's go get a goddamn snack. That's great.
I listen. He's one of my favorites, dude. And I understand shit when it became a shit show, but he was one of my favorites, man. He really was.
Two more points I'll bring up. I guess.
Yeah.
But, with Rex, people forget with the teams they had, those great teams that went to back-to-back AFC titles. You look at the offensive line they had. They had Nick Mangold, Alan Faneca, Brick Ferguson. And they can fucking run the ball. I mean, I'll never forget that. You want to look at a clinic of how to run the goddamn football. The game against San Diego, I think it was 4-1, 4-2. They lined up Sean Green. They basically fucking like double tight end, no wide outs. They say, motherfucker, we're gonna run the ball.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
They couldn't stop.
Listen.
Do you know how emasculating that is when like you line up a fucking running off a formation at 4-2 in a playoff game and you can't stop them?
You can't stop them. Now I'm almost listen. I understand. Like everybody talks about Mark Sanchez as a quarterback. Mark Sanchez was a serviceable quarterback, and then they'll turn around and say, "Well, Mark Sanchez brought you guys to a AFC Championship twice, and we lost." Mark Sanchez didn't bring us nowhere, dude. If the defense and our running backs and the rest of our team brought us, if the Jets had a little bit of a better, let's say the Jets had, I don't know, I'm shooting for the moon here, but like Tom Brady or let's even go somebody, a Kirk Cousins type guy, Matt Stafford. They win the Super Bowl, dude. I mean, come on. Listen, same to Mark Sanchez. He's a handsome kid. He does well on ESPN now. But he kept him in the game. Rex loved him. But if that Jet team had a little bit of a better quarterback, they win the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
And then I'll always, Brandon Marshall? I mean, I'm sorry. Not Brandon Marshall. Braylon Edwards. Come on, man. The running game, it's just, that was a team that got gypped out of a quarterback. And listen, say what you want about Mark Sanchez. Serviceable at best. But he did take the,
he got there. Again, going back to what I was talking about competent, okay? The guy he made the play, he come a game manager, did what he needed to do. I would tell you, if Sanchez didn't have it's like injuries, like he really couldn't run, right?
No.
If they had a quarterback that could scramble, they would have been deadly because you could do so much with that. You could bootleg play action. You can do kind of a sprint out. There's so many things you can do if you had a mobile quarterback. I'm not talking about like Michael Vick, one of these guys, but just someone that can you got a little bit of speed.
Yeah.
You have to respect it. Okay, he's kind of throw it. He's going to run for a first down. Somebody even like Danny Dimes right now. I give credit. Dimes can do that. The only thing I'm worried about is when he runs, he's going to break his fucking neck.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know.
But another thing too. This is kind of more to Eric's side too. So like, remember we were talking about the salary cap, man. The Bucks picked up Logan Ryan. Which, as a Giants fan, that burned me up because they couldn't find money to fucking pay this guy. That guy was like solid player, he's a heartbeat on the defense, so on and so forth. And the Bucks got him for a song, so good for you guys.
They cut him and then they re-signed him again.
Well, I'll tell you what though. Hey, I mean, good for him. You're down in Florida, you save money on the sales tax. That's pretty much.
We had to boost our. We had to improve the secondary, Joe. That was our problem last year. Look at in the playoff game against the Rams, they just torched us, and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't think anybody was playing back there, but the Buccaneers are going to play the Cowboys tomorrow, and it's going to be a defensive struggle. And I actually picked the Cowboys.
I heard that. I was surprised by that. Now, are you picking the Cowboys on the money line or just on the spread?
You know what? It's going to be a tough game. I mean.
I think Dallas wins. I think Dallas is going to be that team this year, Joe.
But I think they're going to struggle tomorrow night. I think it's going to be one on defense tomorrow.
Yeah.
Both teams have offensive line problems. I think the Bucs defense is going to drive Dak crazy, but I don't think Brady can dance around that much anymore at 45. With
Yeah.
and the Cowboys will be coming after him, so it's going to be a tough game tomorrow.
We'll see. Here's the thing with Brady. He's kind of like Peyton Manning used to be, right? Especially last year, almost like a Jedi, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, where like he doesn't have to make the play. He kind of just does the Jedi fucking mind trick, fucking does one thing or another. Doesn't have to be the center of attention. Doesn't have to have the stats.
Yeah.
It just makes the key plays at the right time.
Yeah.
To get him to go. So here's my thing with.
They want to run the ball more too this year,
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Brady threw for over 4,500
Yeah.
yards last year.
Yeah.
They signed this guy, Rashad White, I think his name is. The rookie.
Yeah. Here's the thing. They got White. They got Leonard Fournette.
They got Keyshawn Vaughn a couple years, and they got Giovanni Bernard. So and then they got Mike Evans, and hopefully what was that, Joe? Sorry.
Just keep in mind we're kind of touching on fantasy right now, but keep in mind that Tom Brady was the top 5 fantasy quarterback. Right?
Yes, he was.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. His fantasy numbers, definitely.
Yes, he was.
So I picked them winning the Super Bowl though, Joe. Okay, they're my pick to win.
Okay,
the Super
so
Bowl.
they're going to lose week 1, but they're going to win the Super Bowl. Okay.
Well, there's plenty of time. It's we've seen that before.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it's not like college where you lose your first game, you're done, right? So it's time to
Get him, Joe. Get him, Joe. That's funny. Yes, see, look, you got your Bucks talking. I told you, Cousin Joe's not just a Giant fan. Cousin Joe's a football fan.
That's good. Yeah, bring the heat, and stuff. I don't care,
good.
Yeah. Wait till Julio Jones scores a touchdown tomorrow night, huh? And proves me wrong, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what was that? What was that? Julio Jones scored touchdown?
Tomorrow night, proves me wrong, right?
Okay.
The Buccaneers win going away, right?
Okay. Here's the great thing about gambling. Okay, I can bet on that. I'm gonna hedge my bets either way. So all right, hey, $5 Julio Jones scored a touchdown.
No, here's what you want. You want Sammy Watkins tomorrow.
I put him in. I took everything. I took yards, scored a touchdown. That's it.
Let me tell you what Sammy Watkins has done the past 3 week ones. 20 catches, 376 yards, 4 touchdowns, week 1. And then the rest of the season, he falls asleep. 22% of his production comes off week 1.
Wow.
So Sammy Watkins tomorrow is my pick of the week for fantasy.
All right, Joe. I got one more. Another question for you here. What happens if Mr. Odell Beckham Jr. knocks on the door and says, "Hello, Giants organization. I want to come play with you, but I want $15 million." What do you say to Odell Beckham Jr.?
Go talk to the Jets.
Exactly. And the Jets are going to say, "Get the hell out of here and don't let the door hit you in the way ass." Now, he's talking like he wants to come to the Giants, but he's also talking like he wants a lot of money. If you're Odell Beckham Jr. at this time, either A, you stay with the Rams, or B, you take the league minimum.
You know what? Here's the watch stuff. I'm done with the
Yeah.
Good for you know what? For what it's worth, I don't know if somebody got it this year or whatever, but he shut himself up, got himself to the Rams, got himself to the Super Bowl, got hurt in the game, which kind of makes him a hero in a way.
Yeah.
He scored a touchdown, then you get hurt. If I were him, just be humble. Either
No, it won't happen with him.
Exactly.
It won't happen with him.
But except for our team, get lost party. Go somewhere with a lower tax bracket. I don't tell you.
Yeah.
Tampa, please. Maybe Miami, huh?
Yeah, you want Odell Beckham in Tampa? You want him?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
No, he's a headache, Rich.
No, man, no. You don't want him anywhere near a football field. Listen, he's about 2 or 3 more outbreaks of being Antonio Brown, dude.
Oh, no doubt about it. I can see him taking his shirt off and running up the field.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame too. I mean, listen, it's a shame too. You know what? And like you said, what's going on with these guys? Like, you get Jalen Ramsey talking shit. He got shut down after talking shit. It's like, I don't. Some of these guys, I guess it's the position. The cornerbacks and the wide receivers. They want to be flashy. They want to be, the center of attention, I guess. But I don't know, man. What happens to some? What happens to some of these guys? Like Odell Beckham. Like the guy looked like Hall of Fame wide reciever the first 2 seasons. And then I don't know what happens. He hurts himself, and he starts mouthing off. He's fighting Jalen Ramsey on the field, and next thing you know, he's.
They went in that boat. All those guys went in that boat. Remember that picture?
Yeah.
Joe,
Yeah.
What was the record since then? They only won like 22 games in the past 5 years.
Well, the thing, he tried to fight. He fought the kicking net. He went in the boat.
Yeah.
There was that issue where he had the defecation fetish or some sort.
Oh my
All
God!
kinds of
Please.
stuff. Oh my God.
Listen, I listen. They I heard a couple stories about that night on that boat from like some of these. I would have went on that goddamn boat too, man. I don't care if I was a giant, the jet. Like some of the stuff that was going on that boat, man. I would have been on that fucking boat too, dude.
Here's the thing, okay? If you're gonna do that shit, if you're gonna do that kind of shit, you gotta win, okay?
Exactly.
That's a big difference.
Exactly.
If you win the game, if you win the you win that game, everyone laughs about it. Oh, but you lose. Oh my God! It's like in 2007 season with the Giants going to Dallas, they beat them. People forget that's the third time they played, and the Giants had lost 2 games previous. Giants go in there and beat them. The whole story afterwards was Tony Romo with Jessica Simpson in Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yes. Yep. And then afterwards, that's when you have T.O. coming out. He's crying. That's my quarterback. I love him. Blah 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 blah. And then 2 years later, he's in Buffalo.
Joe, real quick. We don't have to go into it, but I said a couple weeks ago. Speaking about T.O., yo, you see that dude ran a 4.5 40, dude?
Oh, he's nuts. Oh my God.
He's 48 years old, bro. He ran a 4.5 40 last week.
Crazy.
What the hell? I mean, that's crazy.
And that's another guy too. I mean, obviously he was part of the Hall of Fame, well deserved.
Oh,
If
yeah.
that guy if he wasn't such a whack job, he'd be remembered as like Jerry Rice, if not the greatest wide receiver. But it's
Yeah,
not a
man.
coincidence. Every team this guy went to was he turned into a cancer. Just everywhere. That's not a coincidence.
No, it's
not
not.
a coincidence that happens.
No, but we all know the story about him. Like he went a little crazy. Speaking about crazy wide receivers, what's his name's back? Josh Gordon.
Yeah. Oh my God! Again, huh?
Now, listen, we all know we've seen Josh Gordon. We all play fantasy football. Josh Gordon for the first 2 years was a ridiculous fantasy football player, but he's just one of those guys. He just started hanging out with Johnny Manziel or whatever it was, and I guess blondes, booze, and coke. I guess are more important than football with him. I don't know.
Well, that just goes to show you, though, man. If you can still produce, they'll find an exemption for you in the NFL. Okay, as long as it's not sex stuff or like drunk driving or whatever, they'll find a spot for you.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem. What is he like? 40 years old now too. The guy won't go away, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
But he's probably like 27. Right? His name's in the news so much, he'll probably think he's been around forever, basically. So.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
And that's like, and it's that just, that kind of stuff just goes away. We go from talking a couple of years ago to Tariq Hill stomping some chick out in the hotel to now it's like, oh my God, where is he going to go? Is he going to stay with the Chiefs? Is he going to go to the Dolphins? He's going to do this. It's okay. He's a good football player. It's not okay, but I don't understand some of the stuff that goes on. It's, you just sometimes you just gotta close your eyes and just be like, all right, whatever. I don't know, but some of these guys are not good guys. But you know what though? They're entertaining, and that's basically what sports is supposed to be. It's supposed to be entertainment,
Well, like the movies too, Rich. There's some douches in the movies as well. Not nice guys. They're making movies and stuff. Not nice guys in the music industry. We like their song. So it's.
Listen, I can tell you firsthand. There's not nice guys in the ironworkers either. There's a lot of assholes in the ironworkers also. I'm one of them. I want to, like you just said before, I want to touch on fantasy real quick. Joe enlightened me that he's into fantasy as well. And Joe, are you listen? I played on a bigger league a couple of years ago, but now I just have this small league that I'm going with a bunch of my friends. Are you bunch of obviously the Boys to Men league with our friends and our sons. Eric's in it with his son Ben.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like I said, we call it Boys to Men because it's all 5 dads and 5 kids. So, yeah, how sweet, Yeah. But are you in like a high stakes league, or are you just like kind of fucking around with friends?
12-team snake league. I'm in with Rocco's. I'll give him a plug. Rocco's Pizza on 22. So
okay, man.
I'm 7% Albanian, so I'm part of the clan now.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with these guys. Been doing it for a few years now. So a great group of guys. We expanded from 10 to 12 teams this past year. This is the first year that we did 12 teams, and the first time we're doing this, I'm getting ready to draft. I got my shit ready. I've done multiple practice, multiple mocks. I got my shit all ready to go. And then polling, we lost power. I lost internet. And the computer drafted my team for me. So I went from a situation from being ready to roll, having a great team, to being a Billy Bean in Moneyball. So I'm willing to deal in now. And I'm trying to get someone to give me a free soda for a year. If I can swing that deal, I'll be okay.
Did you get anybody worth?
No, you left. So I queued it up ahead of time. Okay. So I did the cues for the running backs, wide receivers, QBs, and all shit. I don't know what the hell happened with the algorithm. it drafted me like 5 quarterbacks.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
jeez.
So I ended up with what's his name? Who's the kid in Philly? Hurts, right?
Oh,
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I got Jalen Hurts. I got Brady, Rodgers.
Oh my God.
Dak Prescott. So I traded Hurts away. I traded Brady away. I ended up with like a bunch of running backs. I had Cordell Patterson, Antonio Gibson. I traded them away. I got Hunter Renfrow now. I got Adam Thielen. I got Chris Gibson. So I got a fighting chance to come back. If I can't win the thing, I gotta be a spoiler, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Here's the thing. I was pissed off when it happened, but I'm looking back in hindsight. Last year I drafted my team. I literally missed the playoffs on a technicality because I had an equal record with the number. We do top 4 go to playoffs. Finished number 5 because I had lost by 10 points in the number 4 team, right? So last year I picked a team and missed the playoffs. So what the hell do I have to lose? Let the computer draft this thing. I'll wheel and deal. I have no personal attachment to the players on the team. I'll fucking trade them away if I need to. So we'll see what happens. It'll be fun here.
You know, Joe, there's worse because there was a story in the news this week where a girlfriend got revenge on her ex-boyfriend by signing into his ESPN account and changing his fantasy football team.
Oh, get out of here, really?
You're going to hear this guy's team for tomorrow? So it's quarterback Colin Kaepernick.
Oh my God.
Ready? Here we go. It gets better. Running back Kenyon Drake. Okay, he plays for Baltimore. He's projected for 1 point. That's okay. Other running back, Duke Johnson, free agent.
Nice.
But here's the wide receivers. Keelan Cole, wide receiver, free agent.
Oh,
Larry Fitzgerald, retired.
Oh my God.
And guess who the tight end is? It's got
to be Tebow. It's got to be Tebow.
Dwight Clark.
Nope. Gronkowski, retired.
Oh jeez.
So your team will be better than this team, Joe. I guarantee you.
I gotta know, is there any information what the kind of league this guy was in? What was the entry fee? Any idea on that? Or
I don't know. It just said my best friend just got treated poorly and broke up with her boyfriend. He forgot she's logged into his ESPN account. Now she's dropping every player on his fantasy.
Oh my God.
That's free agents.
Oh my God, that's hysterical, dude. That's hysterical.
Can you imagine that? Imagine if it was a $500 play-in. Imagine that.
Oh, wow.
I was laughing at this. It's like
Yeah.
it's crazy, right?
Yeah, we got our our first day tomorrow. I'm hoping for big things from Jamar Chase, and I got Kyler Murray, and my running back situation's a little bit. We'll see what happens. I am definitely gonna keep an eye on it though. My son Aiden thinks he's gonna win the entire league, but he also thought he was gonna win last year, and he came in last place. So
Hey, listen, it's week 1. Everyone's a winner. Everyone feels great about themselves. And 4 weeks from now, he starts to develop a picture. And by the time you get to Thanksgiving, you got a pretty good idea what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. So we were gonna do our Yankee thing, but I think we're getting a little long in time because I think that's something that I'd like to spend a couple of minutes on because we actually could go over some questions and we could probably do maybe a little Yankee history like on a special show or something because we could talk about a couple of the questions I have. I got some good questions. So just maybe we'll do that. Maybe maybe we'll do it during the week or something like that. But Joe, just let you in. I wrote down 4 categories, 5 questions each. Progressively, they get harder. 1 point per question if you're going to go back and forth. And if the one person that picks the question cannot answer the question, the other person has the chance to steal the point. And whoever wins has the most point at the end. Joe, you will either get a case of Narragansett, and Eric will get a $20 gift to the pizzeria of his choice. So that's something that we are going to discuss maybe tonight after we go off or tomorrow, and we'll get that done really quick if you guys don't mind. I've been up early and I'm a little tired, and it's getting on. We're almost on for 2 hours too. So,
Yeah.
Eric, anything you want to?
One more thing.
Yeah, man.
All 3 of us. Who's your best bet for tomorrow in the NFL? What team to win the game? That's going to win a game tomorrow.
What do you got, Joe? If you had a bet the farm on somebody.
Point a gun on my head. Bet my mortgage. Give me the Broncos. Now, obviously, they're not playing tomorrow. They're going to play Monday night.
Okay.
That's fine.
I like the Broncos. I think Russell Wilson's going to be fucking man on a mission. The team they had there, they've always been in it. They still had that one thing that clicked. Now they obviously a few years ago they won the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
But even recent years, they've kind of been there. You're missing that one piece. So give me the Broncos.
All right.
Cool.
What do you got, Eric?
Buffalo Bills. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, you're smart.
My pick's going to be the San Francisco 49ers are coming to Chicago. It's going to be a rainy day tomorrow, and a lot Elijah Mitchell's going to go nuts tomorrow. He might even have 150 yards rushing. So I like the 49ers tomorrow to beat the Bears. That's my pick.
That's your pick of the week? My pick of the week is, and I put a lot of thought into this because I've been killing. I don't know, I guess I've been really haven't really been killing them, but my pick of the week is going to be. It's a shitty game, but it's something I want to keep an eye on. I think the Browns are gonna. I'm sorry, not the Browns. I think the Panthers are gonna handle the Browns in Baker Mayfield's debut. I know they're playing at Carolina, but I think Baker Mayfield is gonna come in and mess up the Browns a little bit. And I know I keep making fun of him, but Jacoby Brissett, really, Cleveland? So I think I know it's not a game that's gonna. These two teams really aren't going anywhere in the playoffs, but it's a game I want to keep an eye on. It's a pick 'em, and I think I'd like to see Baker Mayfield come and kind of show his old team up.
Sure.
So I got the Panthers on a pick 'em. So
Yeah.
There you go.
all right. So Joe, it sounds like from what you said to set.
Guys, one more thing. Joe, you're a parlay guy. What do you think about this? I have Miami, Chargers, Vikings, Chiefs, all money line tomorrow. What do you think about that?
You know what? I have no idea why Miami's favored over New England. I get it.
I hear you, Joe.
I get it that the Dolphins, they always play well against the Patriots. But here's the thing: Week 1, you give Bill Belichick 6 months to plan for a game. Especially now, all the shit we found out about what happened with the tampering. And,
Yep.
I'll tell you, I load up on the Patriots.
Wow.
I don't know.
I like the Patriots too, Joe. But yeah.
Everything else is said spot on 100%. But that game scares me. And I'll tell you right now, I think people are talking about Tua and Tyreek Hill, blah 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 blah. I'll tell you right now, I think the Jets have a very good chance of actually placing higher than the Dolphins this year in the standings.
I love it, cuz.
So watch it. Again, I don't know what the attraction is. And another thing too, I don't know what the hell's going on in Miami, where the coach they had, I thought Brian Flores was pretty competent. I thought he was a good coach.
Yeah.
I know it's going in the back room there, but they got rid of him. It turned the other allegations that they tanked some games.
Listen, I was going to talk.
I'm not sold on the Dolphins.
I heard that whole thing with the Dolphins, all that beef that had to do with the Dolphins had to do a lot about with Justin Herbert. The owner, I don't know if it was the owner or the GM. I think it was the GM. The GM wanted Justin Herbert, and I think it was the owner said, "No, we want this guy too." He said, "Listen, this kid's going to be an unbelievable quarterback. What are you guys doing?" And I heard that was a lot of the. I could get a Dolphin fan on to correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that was a lot of arguing, infighting about that.
Crazy.
Yeah. So.
We'll see.
All right, gentlemen.
I'll just say, if you put that parlay in, sorry to hear that. If you haven't put it in yet, you got my 2 cents there.
I did already.
All right, so listen, cousin Joe, you definitely can come on anytime you want. I don't know about my partner here, EDUBBS, but I think Joe did a pretty good job tonight. What do you think, E?
Yeah, cousin Joe, I hit it on the ballpark. Home run, cousin Joe. Good job.
I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it. Here's the thing with radio. Don't go to the well too often, okay? So I'll definitely be back. We'll do some conversations, but you got to do it sparingly. So
you got it, man.
Let's reconvene in a month or so. We'll see
Hey, listen, how about this? We invite you to the live show when we get down to Peekskill.
Oh, absolutely. Live show, absolutely. And then we'll definitely do the special on the trivia. I definitely owe you that.
Now let's, like I said, let's shoot for some. Let's shoot for maybe in the next couple of days with that. Maybe we'll get that out of the way. It won't be long, and I just want to get that out. Because we've been talking about it the whole time. It's just a little too late now to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Real quick parting shot. This is at Eric here. Okay.
Yeah.
Greatest athlete in I'll say in recent history, American history. Here it comes. No, you laugh. Here it comes.
Okay.
Dave Winfield. All right, now back. Here it comes.
Yeah, no.
You're right.
Dave Winfield. Here's the thing. People don't realize Dave Winfield. Yep. We recognize him as a baseball player. The guy was a two-sport athlete in college. He was
three-sport athlete.
Three.
Well, here's
football. Yeah.
I'll touch on that in a second here. In college, he was a baseball player, basketball player. I'm not sure he played football in college, but he was drafted in the NFL. He's one of the only players. He was actually drafted by 4 leagues. He was drafted by baseball, Major League Baseball, NFL, despite the fact that he didn't play college football. And back in the day, you had the ABA and the NBA. He was drafted by both leagues. So the fact that he was drafted by four professional teams is pretty astounding.
Yeah.
As far as baseball goes, we think of him as an outfielder, as a hitter. He was a pitcher in college. All right, they moved him to the outfield once he got to the pros.
Yeah, man.
So that's something you got to think about. Okay, what is your definition of an athlete?
Yep.
Is it someone that's phenomenal in their sport only, or that can do it across the board?
Yeah, I was going by the records, Joe.
Right.
I mean,
No doubt.
owns every record in hockey, basically. That's what I was going like.
Hey.
Like in baseball, it's spread around. Football, it's spread. That's what I was going at.
Well, think about and to your point with Wayne Gretzky. Think about this. Have you ever seen a living player have his number drafted by every team, that number retired by every team?
Yeah. That's respect right there, dude.
That's respect. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
And I know it's different, Joe, because you look at football where the key to hockey is put the puck in the goal, right? But in football, you have rushers, you got receivers. Baseball, you got guys that hit home runs. So it's different. But but the records that Gretzky holds, he's like, I think it was like 90 records he holds and stuff like that. He'll never be broken and stuff like that. So it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, you a hockey fan, Joe?
Only in the playoffs.
Me too.
I guess that's it for all of us.
Well, I know I'm a hockey hack too. I only watch in the playoffs.
You're not gonna watch the preseason games this week when they start? My God.
I'll catch up with hockey at game what do they play? How many games they play, Joe? Like 80 something games?
82, I think.
Too many.
Yeah.
No, too many.
I'll catch up in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna have to get a hockey correspondent. Maybe cousin Kevin will come on, be a hockey correspondent.
Kevin and Rob on there.
Absolutely, dude. All right, gentlemen. Like I said, good job, Joe. Thank you very much, brother. Good job tonight.
Thanks. Nice meeting you, Joe.
Yeah, man. I knew you guys would get along. You guys have each other's phone numbers now. We have a trip. Listen, we have a three-way conversation going. You guys could, Joe, you could break balls and chime in. And listen, Joe, I gotta be honest with you, man. I really do appreciate the constructive criticism and the. No. Honestly, I'm really talking like the constructive stuff in the beginning. And telling us, telling me like how you're hearing it and stuff like that. And listen, you have a lot of people that man. When you go, when you go away on your little trips that you go away, that you have to go away for, when you get, with the reserves and stuff. From I get people to listen, and I do thank you for a little bit of constructive criticism in the beginning and becoming one of our biggest fans. And now you're on here, Joe. I really appreciate it, brother.
I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Thanks for the call, and good luck to us all tomorrow, right?
All right, Joe.
Yes.
All right, EDUBBS.
Yes, Murph.
Another good one. How about?
Awesome. Yeah, great. 2 hours of entertainment, sports, and let's get the ratings up on this. Hey, Rich, you know what I did see?
What?
I did see 11% of our listeners are females, so the females are starting to listen to us.
Fantastic. That's our wives listening to it 100 times. Anyway, all right. Listen, tomorrow I'll be locked in with the Jets game and all the football, and I know Joe will be locked in all the football too. And I heard through the grapevine that on a parting shot, Eric, you are going apple picking tomorrow, and don't let anybody fool you. He's going apple picking tomorrow, and I got a source that says that is 100% true. And on that note, later, guys.
Take care, guys. Peace out.
Exactly. Joe, thank you so much, dude. It should be up soon. Nice job, dude.
Good stuff, right?
Absolutely. Joe's pretty knowledgeable. He's got good stories.
He's like a radio guy.
Yeah. You know what it is, like, we're cousins, like we don't hang out, but like I said, we talk about sports. He always comments on my fan posts, and we just talk about sports all the time, man. I knew you guys would hit it off too, and the three of us nobody talked over anybody.
No, it was great. It was great.
Yeah. All right, well, I am going to, like I said, I'm gonna, you gotta log out. I'm gonna log in, and I'm gonna work. I'm just gonna listen. I'm just gonna get rid of that first couple minutes, and then I'm just gonna publish it.
Perfect.
And I'm gonna go I've been having like a little ritual when I do this. Like I publish it, and then I go for a little ride. I take I listen to it in the car for the first half hour.
Oh wow.
It's my ritual I've been doing. So that's probably what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna I'll edit it, then I'll pop it out there, and then be out there in the morning. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good, Rich. Yeah, good.
All right, Eric.
Another home run, buddy.
Absolutely, dude. Thanks, dude.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm gonna sign off now. Okay.
All right, brother.
Hey, have a good night.
You too. Later.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, Rich. How are you?
I'm doing good, my man. What's going on?
Good, good, excellent. Episode 5.
All right, listen, how do I sound?
You sound good. How do I sound?
Hey, you sound fantastic.
Perfect, great.
All right, that was our little radio check right there, and I'm gonna see if we could. Hey, what's going on, everybody? The long-awaited.
Hey, Joe, what's up?
How you doing, huh?
Good, how are you? Is Rich here?
Third time's a charm. It says host connected, so I guess it's a good start. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm here. You're here. We're waiting for Rich now.
Well, we got a quorum, so there you go.
Hey, you sound pretty good. You sound like a guy for radio there, Joe, huh?
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
like so, King is I've been shit. I've been listening to talk radio since I was like 17, 18 years old. So.
Wow. Okay. Good.
Been a while.
Nice.
Been a while. Plus,
Nice.
my day job, my regular job, I'm a college admissions rep.
Oh, okay.
For Merchant Marine Academy. So yeah, the school. I live in Poland. The school's in Long Island. So.
Yes. Yeah.
That combined with that, I'm still in the reserves too. So yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
When I travel, I do a little bit of traveling. So yeah, talk radio is my best friend.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like talk radio myself. You know.
There you go.
Hey, guys, you're on.
Hey, there he is. Where are you, Rich? We finished the show already.
Yeah, that's it, man. Yeah.
That was a good job, Joe.
That's good. Oh yeah, Rich. Rich, we decided to split the pot. So you owe me a 6-pack and you owe me a few slices there. So.
All right, cool, man. Cool. Listen, it sounds good, man. We all sound good, right?
Sounds great. Yeah, it sounds great. Hey, Joe, what's up?
How you doing, huh?
Good, how are you? Is Rich here?
Third time's a charm. It says host connected, so I guess it's a good start. I don't know.
Hey, Joe, what's up?
How you doing, huh?
Good, how are you? Is Rich here?
Third
Joe, what's up?
How you doing, huh?
Good, how are you? Is Rich here?
Third time's a charm. It says host connected, so I guess it's a good start. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm here. You're here. We're waiting for Rich now.
Well, we got a quorum, so.
Yeah. Hey, you sound pretty good. You sound like a guy for radio there, Joe, huh?
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
like so, okay, I've been shit. I've been listening to talk radio since I was like 17, 18 years old. So.
Wow. Okay. Good.
Been a while.
Nice.
Been a while.
Nice.
Plus, so my day job, my regular job. I'm a college admissions rep.
Oh, okay.
From Richmond Academy. So yeah, I mean, the school. I mean, I live in Pauling. The school's in Long Island. So.
Yes. Yeah.
That combined with that, I'm still in the reserves too. So yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
When I travel, I do a little bit of traveling. So yeah, talk radio is my best friend.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like talk radio myself. You know.
There you go.
Hey, guys, you're on.
Hey, there he is. Where are you, Rich? We finished the show already.
Awesome.
That was a good job, Joe.
That's good. Oh yeah, Rich, we decided to split the pot. So you owe me a 6-pack and you owe me a few slices there. So.
Okay, cool, man. Cool. Listen, it sounds good, man. We all sound good, right?
Sounds great. Yeah, it sounds great. Yeah.
Joe, let me hear you talk.
What's it to you, man?
Perfect. Eric, let me hear you.
Hey, Rich, what's up?
You guys got it, man. All right, so
Let's
listen.
go.
All right, we're 35 seconds into it. Now listen, you see a number countdown?
Check it out. It's a count up. Not count.
Count it. You got 46 seconds like me?
142, 143,
Yeah.
144, 145.
Joe and I signed in early. Rich, you came in a little bit later.
Back to the future, Rich.
You got it. All right, listen. All right, so what we're gonna do here is, all right, give me at 30 seconds. I'm gonna come in with the intro, and that's when we're gonna start. And I'm gonna edit this part out. All right?
Sounds
Great.
All right, guys. All right. Here we go. Episode.